We're live.
We are live with absolutely nothing to talk about. It's going to be a very short episode.
We're no wrestling this week.
How you guys doing?
That
Good, man.
the main event with R-Truth versus Reggie was pretty good. I guess we can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Oh wait, no, there were two big wrestling shows this weekend. Three technically, two that we're going to talk about.
Specifically.
And then just a minor backstage scrum or something that we have to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something little, just a little disagreement backstage.
Yeah, which negated half of the title matches from All Out. Which if they would have just listened to me and went with my predictions, they wouldn't have had to do that. But no, nobody listens to Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
This show aged with it like
within an hour of the show being over. Not even like the next day. Within an hour of the show being over, this show had aged like milk. It's incredible.
Yeah,
it
really was. So let's just jump right into it since we do have a lot. Which is weird because white men can't jump and there's 4 white guys, but that's whatever.
Never seen
it.
I don't play sports ball, Jacob. Come on. We're talking wrestling.
We talk predetermined sports here.
Mm-hmm. Like the NBA? Yeah, you're right.
Only in 2002.
Yeah.
Can I do a quick wrestling time to what on screen, right? So on screen, I just got Netflix on, and it's like on the screen they're just advertising the Woodstock '99 documentary. Do you know that at the start of Woodstock '99 documentary, there's a guy going Woodstock, woo? You know who that is?
The Miz.
The Miz.
Really?
Huh?
That's weird. Yeah.
Huh.
I had no idea.
Young Miz. Yeah,
interesting.
Young Miz. MTV Miz. Yeah.
The real world Miz.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have Clash at the Castle. Only 6 shows or 6 matches. Sorry, 6 shows. Six matches. With the 7th that was added, but we didn't really count it in our predictions because it was added like 2 hours before the event.
Can I just point out one thing really quick? Both of these shows, All Out, the main cards of both the shows, All Out and Clash, I'm not including pre-show, were both 3.5 hours, right? One had 6 matches and the other had 11 in those 3.5 hours. Guess which one had more video packages? I swear to God, there was multiple times I fast forwarded like 10 minutes on Clash of the Castle and they were still showing videos or something.
It's because they have to have the commercial package ready for those that don't pay for the non-commercials. So it's like watching a damn TV show. It's quite annoying.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm one of those that doesn't have the
No. What I'm saying is though, like they should. I don't know, man. There's a better way around it, though. I feel like I don't know. I guess there's no way around it. They're gonna have the 2 tiers. It's annoying for those that don't have it or want to just watch a pay-per-view normally instead of it being so much filler. You know, that show could have been done quicker.
I don't think they need that many for a live event.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I wish for a pay-per-view it was different. I wish it was just either, I don't know.
Yeah. But funny enough, Jonathan Peck watching, thank you. Funny enough, they have The Rock opening up Thursday.
I did see that. I was watching a little bit before the trivia. Yeah, they hit his entrance music, and then he came out and like cut like a 30-second promo, and then like started the game or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't much overall. It was just like he's The Rock when he wants to be The Rock, and then he's Dwayne Johnson everywhere else. When he wants to bring it back out, he is, and then otherwise he doesn't really acknowledge it that much.
Was he like, hey, don't forget to watch XFL next year? Because
I didn't start watching the game until the kickoff, so and I'm only watching because I have Josh Allen in my fantasy league. But I mean, isn't the next WrestleMania in Los Angeles too?
Yeah,
so
it's at SoFi
Stadium. I mean, come on, he's just teasing now.
They're acting like the tagline is again like WrestleMania goes Hollywood, but they did that for WrestleMania 20 or 21 or whatever. Like the one after
21 with all those fake trailers. That was great.
Yeah, but that was awesome.
Were amazing.
That was awesome. Yeah. And that stage was cool. They had shit where like stuff would get set on fire like during like Kane's entrance and stuff, and like it was kind of an interactive like stage. It was really cool. That was a good setup. But yeah, WrestleMania goes Hollywood again, once in a lifetime, twice in a
lifetime, twice.
Yeah.
Also, Josh Allen also was referenced on Dynamite this week.
Was he? Oh,
he was. Yeah. We can get to that after All Out. But yeah, MJF is back. Spoiler alert for All Out. But first, Clash at the Castle, 6 matches. I did terrible predicting this one. I only got 2 of them right. I don't know. I mean,
you did better than, unfortunately, Austin. Anyway, we'll get to it.
I did not do better than Austin.
No, I did pretty good
overall.
Oh,
overall.
No.
Well,
if we were going overall, Austin. I'll just say this: if we were going overall predictions and adding up both shows, there would be a tie for the winner, and Austin would be one of them.
Hey, okay, cool. Vince Russo.
All right.
Rising. Let's go.
Since we didn't do that, unfortunately,
technicality.
Austin came up short by 1 on both shows.
Yeah, I was like, I'm always like 1 behind. Yeah, I was 1 behind because I picked Drew because God forbid they let him win in Wales. We'll talk about it. And then the other one, yeah, God forbid we have Moxley win the title, which would have saved the scrum, after the show, and then it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, like just you have to go with the status quo, I guess, which is weird. We'll talk about it. But yeah, this show I thought overall was still really good though. Clash.
I enjoyed it. Even the matches that on our previous show that I was like, I don't know if I'm into that. Like I was like, oh, that was a pretty decent match.
I think overall it had 3 excellent matches and 1 match of the year candidate. Like which is pretty good for a pay-per-view.
I think I know which match of the year you're talking about. We'll get to it.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Liv Morgan and Shayna.
Yeah, Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler. Match of the year.
But first, I didn't actually watch the kickoff because the show was coming on at like 10 a.m. for me, and so my Saturday mornings are usually spent either doing some housework or going grocery shopping. I chose grocery shopping because I like to have food in my house. Mm-hmm. So I didn't actually watch the kickoff match, and I didn't bother going back either. It was Madcap Moss and the Street Profits defeating Austin Theory and Alpha Academy, and looks like 6.5 minutes. So did anybody watch the kickoff match? Got anything to say on it?
I did a double dip. I watched it on my laptop as I was watching the pay-per-view. No, because I'm weird. I just like to be a completist if I can be. No, I mean it's the epitome of a pre-show match. It's kind of who's not on the card. Here's less than 10. Do some stuff. It was fine, but yeah, it's definitely very skippable. As far as like doesn't really advance anything. It's just very much you weren't on the show. Here you are. You're on the kickoff. So I do prefer a kickoff match versus nothing, especially if you are watching it kind of normally, because it breaks up the monotony of just them kind of fake guessing who's gonna win. So, but yeah, it's nothing to go out of your way for. That's fine.
For all the great things Triple H is doing, they're still doing that thing where the Money in the Bank winner loses all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So I imagine he'll cash in at some point and successfully.
He'll cash in unsuccessfully. He just hasn't had a chance to actually start the match and cash in yet. So
what if that's just the next year for Austin?
I said I thought that'd be a good gimmick. He keeps trying to cash in, but failing to even start the match. Like he just gets cut off every single time. So he's never actually lost the briefcase. Like I think that's a fun gimmick.
Then he has till the conclusion of next year's Money in the Bank match to cash in, or he loses it.
Yeah, well, although technically, if he held on to it and didn't, he could, as in keeping with really the tradition of what it's supposed to be, you can hang on till the following WrestleMania and insert yourself into the main event. Isn't that one of the things you can do is like insert yourself into a match before the match starts. Like you can do that as part of the money.
Also, for your career, like given the WrestleMania payday and you'd be in the main event, why wouldn't everybody just wait? Yeah, like why wouldn't everybody just do that?
It would make a lot of financial sense. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Theory lost, and then we opened the show. Again, I didn't catch this match till probably halfway through. Based on how much of the match I saw. Because we had Damage Control, Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky defeating Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka in just under 19 minutes. They gave them quite a good amount of time for an opener for these 6 women, and I think all 6 women showed out. Austin, what are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, no, it was a solid match. I wasn't really surprised with how much time they gave him, given the fact that, again, it was only 6 matches and for a full show. So they gave the matches that I would say needed time were given time, which was nice. They were actually given time to breathe. There was one that didn't really need a lot of time. We'll talk about it. It was the Liv and Shayna. I didn't think needed a lot of time, and they didn't. But, they let this match breathe a little bit. The crowd was immediately like, I was into it because they were doing the Bailey thing, the "Would you be my girl" thing, the whole match, and she was kind of healing it up, but that was a lot of fun. I was glad to see it was a big crowd, but they were super for the most of the night. They were pretty hot and into everything and having a lot of fun. I mean, it was a back and forth. There was some, the heat segment felt long, but once they kind of picked it back up, it was a good little match, and I think the right team went over because you don't want to squash this new faction, too early. You want to give them, it can be a back and forth match, but giving them the win, I think, was the right call.
Yeah, I think so too. And Richie, what do you think about the opening?
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was really good. I thought it was funny. Obviously, the crowd do like to do the hey Bailey thing. And that's why I like UK crowds. So they come up with like different. They're wild, man. They come up with different chants all the time. And then they even when I went to WWE a couple years ago, we were doing it to Bailey, and she got on the microphone. She's like, "I'll never be your girl." And then they're like, "Boo!" And everyone's like, "Boo!" But it was fun. I did like how the announcers had to pretend like, "Oh, the crowd really hate Bailey." I'm like, "No, she's the most over person in the match." Anyway, it was good, and the right person went over. It's good. Like it puts a lot of shine on Bailey too, because Bianca's been protected for a lot. So her eating. Bianca eating a pin for the first time in ages, gets her over, and I think probably I would imagine Extreme Rules maybe if that's the next pay-per-view. I think we'll probably get Bailey versus Bianca for the title. So yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I mean this is one of the few predictions I got right, and I even got like the finish correct because I was like, and the Bailey pins Bianca to set up a future championship match, although I'm just the one that said it. I'm pretty sure all 4 of us were thinking it.
Yeah.
I was just the lucky one to say it out loud. Jordan, what did you think about the 6-woman tag?
Yeah, man, as you guys said, it's good that they were given time. Everything I think was given pretty much the appropriate time here. When you only have 6. Yeah, it was a great opener, right opener. Yeah, I got my prediction right. I was hesitant though because you never know with new groups. Like, let's job them. But I think the right team won here. We were setting up some feature stuff between some tags and then also the big old Bailey 1-on-1 that now I'm even more intrigued for. So yeah, I'm down. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. This was a great match. My one of 2 predictions right for the evening. My second one was actually the very next match because we go from the women's to the Intercontinental Championship, and we got Gunther with Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci making his return, and Imperium being complete once again, taking on. He defeated Sheamus with Ridge Holland and Butch. Hopefully, I see. I know. Austin had wanted Walter to come back, but I want Pete Dunne to come back. I want Butch to go away, and I want Pete Dunne to come back. Like I know he's been. I'm pretty sure he was wearing his old attire when he's wrestling again.
Hey, we're on our way. They reunited Imperium and sort of did like a big entrance. So maybe they're like teasing it and they're on their way to doing that. You know what I mean? I think they could be because they're starting to give everybody their names back. I mean, Matt Riddle was billed as Matt Riddle and announced as such tonight. So, which makes me think, Theory could be back to Austin Theory.
No, he is.
Oh, he is. Well, there you go. Yeah, at least.
No, Kevin Owens even said you found your name, Austin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I mean, giving people back, their gimmick, their name is a step in the right direction. It's like, we can refer to him as Theory in promos and stuff, whatever. That's fine, but like, let him be his name. Like, this is silly. Everybody has to have one name. It's dumb, but. What a horrible match. Am I right, guys? I mean, just boring.
This match fucking ruled.
This match fucking ruled. Yeah, as me and Richard were going to say, this match was awesome. The only thing I will say is I think it was not quite as good as the Dragunov matches, like just because I thought that one had a little more like emotion to it. But like it was very close, and this match, like this is like this is definitely like when it comes to the end of the year, like the best matches of the year. This will be up there for me. Like this match was awesome. I will watch it again. These two guys did exactly what we said. They beat the shit out of each other, and it was glorious. Just chopping each other to pieces. Sheamus' chest turning into hamburger meat. It was great. But Sheamus had. I love the stuff where he was going around and doing the 10 club. All over the place, like kind of in the barricades and around the turnbuckles and everything. Crowd was like super into it. I still think the right guy went over, but you could tell the crowd got really into Sheamus. It was really cool. It's probably the best match he's had in years, you know what I mean? Like, or at least the biggest like high profile match he's had, or it's good to see that. And this match was fucking awesome.
Yeah, great. I underestimated just how over Sheamus was gonna be. Like I thought maybe the crowd would be a little split between the two, but no, they were into Sheamus the whole time. And this. I still prefer pudgy Walter, like sort of skinnier Walter.
Yeah,
doesn't quite work for me. I like chunkier Walter. Like I just like him a little chunkier. I think he's a little more imposing that way. I understand. If it's good for his health, that's great. I'm happy for him. But like I just kind of I was watching a compilation actually yesterday of like Walter chops and stuff, just when he was like chunkier and like bigger, and it just seems like it has more impact when he had that little bit extra weight on him. But I get it. But yeah, this match kicked ass. It was great.
I loved the beginning of this match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When they were face to face, and then Imperium and
they did the stare down. That was really fun. I thought that was great.
I love that.
Yeah, they just didn't move.
Everything about this was great.
Yeah, back me up, Richie. Match ruled.
The match ruled. I'm hoping they all get their names back. We don't forget that Ludwig Kaiser is not Ludwig Kaiser. His name's Marcel Bartel, and it's Fabian Eichner. They should have their old music back because that old music would fucking rule.
No, and I love that old entrance they used to do where it'd just be him standing there, and then they hit the Imperium music with like the silhouette. Like that was a great entrance. Like I love that stuff, and I hope they bring that back soon because I think that entrance still works. And it's really good.
Yeah. But this I just love it's my common new favorite thing. There's another match on the pre-show and all that where it's just two men just beating the high holy shit out of each other. It's my new favorite thing now. And I think this is great. I mean, it would have been a cool moment to see because the whole story of Sheamus is that the Intercontinental title is the only title Sheamus hasn't won. I'm sure he'll get there eventually. But yeah, I'm wondering if they might go the next direction they might go is to Gunther and maybe Pete Dunne, because they've had the matches. They had one of my favorite takeover matches of all time, where Gunther or Walter won the UK title. So maybe they go in that direction. But yeah, I do think Sheamus will win the Intercontinental title at some point. But yeah, this is not just a match of the night. I think it's a match of the weekend. I think this is.
I could make that argument. yeah, I think overall WWE might have won the match of the weekend. Like it's close, but maybe, yeah.
I have a few going through my mind, but that's definitely.
But yeah, it's also Richie, one of my favorite things. Just in any company at any time, two big mean scary men just beating the shit out of each other. It's always fun, and especially if they give them time to let them do it. Two big monsters just wailing on each other. And yeah, we'll talk about the other one on AEW because that one was a hell of a lot of fun too, and I really enjoyed that match as well, for obvious reasons. But yeah, really really good stuff. I love it. It's why when we did our favorite matches, Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi is my favorite match of all time because it's just two big giant scary dudes just wailing on each other for a half an hour. It's great, so it's wonderful.
Jordan, what are your thoughts on Gunther and Sheamus?
What match? I don't recall this one. I must have not been paying attention. No, we all were excited for this match here. I think most of us predicted it as the potential kind of show stealer, and it was, man. I mean, it's just two dudes beating the living hell out of each other from the moment of it being announced. It was like, oh, that could be good, and they lived up, if not surpassed, expectations here. Yeah, man, and good job on people really giving Sheamus the respect afterwards. This is Gunther's first big pay-per-view match. Almost surprising to hear that, considering how big he is as far as like a big normal WWE pay-per-view. This is his first big match, hopefully not his last. So yeah, my only thing about the names though that I could argue is there's a difference between killing off bad names like a Butch and adding to the first names, like they've done before. I almost feel like I would just leave Gunther, Ludwig, and the other one kind of alone because I don't think there's really much of a difference in my opinion. I just feel like you've already done the dirty deed. Just go with it at this point.
Yeah. I think added to the match as well. And it's kind of funny. I think because what added to the match is because Sheamus is so white that like
Oh yeah, the red on his chest and the purple, just stands out more.
Well, him and Daniel Bryan both.
Yeah, he turns red not just from the chops, but when he gets overheat, when he's sweating and he's hot and he's overheated and he turns red as well. It just stands out more. It was fun. No, I mean it's a point to. And, say what you will about Jim Cornette, but, like, he talks a lot about how wrestling is supposed to be, like, some of his favorite matches are matches that feel like a fight, like two guys just going in there and fighting each other, because that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be simulated combat. And, like, that's what I love about matches like these is they feel like a fight. It feels like two guys really scrapping, really going at it. There's another match on the show that I'll talk about that also felt like a fight, especially, during the last couple of minutes, which I liked because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be two guys just beating the hell out of each other and trying to hurt each other. But everything they did, if you notice, was completely safe. It was chops. It was like the clubs, it was like basic kicks. It was all safe, but it was awesome. Like you can do those things where you beat the hell out of each other safely because your chest will heal up. It turns red, pop some blood vessels, but you'll be fine. Like in a couple of days. Like everything they do is safe, but it looks great. It sounds great, and it's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, great match, contender for match of the weekend, and maybe this isn't the last time we'll talk about this match on the show this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Move on to probably my most surprising match because I didn't have high hopes for this one. Honestly, like I thought this was going to be meh. And it turned out to be pretty decent. And that's for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan defeating Shayna Baszler in just over 11 minutes. By the way, the time on that last match, the Intercontinental match, coming in at 19 and a half. So they gave them nearly 20 minutes, and they used all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Liv Morgan, defeating Shayna in just over 11 minutes. Jordan, we'll go to you first this time because I've gone to you the last two times, and I feel bad.
Good, you should. No, I feel like I was the one that had the most like hope for this match because I was really feeling like this is kind of do or die for Liv to a large degree here. She's had kind of a not wacky, just a poorly built title run where she kind of looks weak. So I'm glad that this was finally able to have a decent match here. Probably I would imagine off the top of my head maybe my least favorite match of the night, but still nothing that I would go out of the way of ever saying anything really bad about. And moments I think maybe Baszler might get it, but yeah, I thought the match was fine here. Hopefully solidifies Liv a little bit more, and she continues to have a nice little run here. I think it kind of this win mattered.
Yeah, absolutely. This wasn't my least favorite match of the night. We'll get to that in a little bit. But no, but probably because this one just surprised me the most. Like I wasn't expecting anything, and I was entertained the entire time. And yeah, I was rooting for Liv, even though I picked Shayna to win. I was rooting for Liv, and it looked like she was taking what she learned from Matt Riddle and using it and applying it. And I enjoyed the match. Austin, what did you think of
the match itself was fine. I enjoyed the opening couple minutes where it was like Shayna trying to put on all the submissions and things, like an MMA fighter would, and her scrambling out and having some good counters, some good roll ups. It goes to what I was talking about, where you can kind of take a bad situation and try to make it better with. You can have Liv like trying to learn and adapt and like learn new tricks, to try to overcome these stronger opponents, learn new counters, learn ways to not exactly go toe to toe, but like, kind of use her quickness and get out of them. And I think that was kind of showing this because I definitely think this is a precursor to her, going up against Ronda again at some point. Obviously, that's what they're, going to build up to eventually. But I mean, they're making the best out of a weird situation to start. The match was fine. It wasn't. I don't think there was a bad match on the show. Like honestly, personally, I thought all the matches were at least okay or okay to great. But yeah, this maybe the least exciting match on the show. But I thought Liv did the best she could. She worked very hard, and it was all right. It was okay.
They had brought up in the commentary, and it's on the bump actually. She was doing some stuff with Riddle and preparation. I wish they had kind of maybe hyped it up more on SmackDown on the package because like I think that's an interesting aspect. Yeah, like no, the clips are out there, but it's on the bump. Like it's on, you know what I mean? Like I do wish they had hyped that up a little bit more. Of like, no, she's taking this seriously. Shayna's a different kind of beast. Like I just like they kind of alluded to it, but I thought they could have laid into that more.
Yeah, well, you could have if Riddle had not.
No, sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say if Riddle wasn't in a match, you could have even done something where Riddle was like ringside with her, like coaching her like a UFC, coach at ringside or something. Be like, all right, now spin out, do this, da 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 da. Like you could have had something like that if you didn't already have obviously a big match later on the show. But yeah, I wish they would go into more of that because that's what we're talking about of her trying to learn and like you can use that as part of the storyline. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Reggie.
No, I think WWE sometimes has an issue with AEW has sometimes as well as they assume you watch everything. So it's like, oh, we don't need to recap that. We don't need
remember
to
this from Dark Elevation last week, yo. Come on.
Oh man, sorry I missed it.
So yeah, but yeah, no, this match was it was good. It was fine. But I couldn't probably get it properly invested because I know the destination is Liv and Ronda. I think so I knew like Shayna's just a sort of like a roadblock to that. I'm like so I was like I didn't think Shayna was ever going to win here, but I do think like I mean Triple H is really high on Shayna, so I do hope that before because she's not young, she's like 40 something, but like so I do hope that she does get a run with the title at some point because she is good. She's probably so yeah, but yeah like. Yeah, and it was better than I thought, but yeah, the crowd weren't that into it. To be honest, because it was really, it's really hard because like Liv's been booked weird, so it's like okay, I guess we cheer for her because she's like baby face, but she hasn't really been booked as a great credible baby face, and Shayna has been treated like under the Vince was treated like dirt for the longest time. So we're just starting to try and care about her now. So the crowd weren't as invested. They got into it towards the end there. But yeah, it's probably the match which had the least heat for it. But like it was an okay match. I can't say it's
bad. Yeah, you remember when Shayna Baszler eliminated all 5 women in the Elimination Chamber match and then went on to lose to Becky in less than 10 minutes? She deserves her chance. Yeah. She deserves her moment.
Yeah. It's like when Goldberg eliminated everybody in Elimination Chamber, and then Triple H just hits him with a sledgehammer and wins and sucks the air out of the place. If I remember that back in 2003, jeez.
Yeah. Or Braun Strowman did the same thing. Braun Strowman, it was the 7-man chamber match. Braun Strowman eliminates 5 men. Roman Reigns hits him with a spear,
and that's it.
And Reigns wins. Like,
yeah, right.
Come on. But No, I alluded to it. This wasn't my least favorite. My least favorite match of the night was Edge and Rey Mysterio against the Judgment Day, and not because it was a bad match, but because
it's only because you didn't predict it correctly, like I
did. And I don't care about this feud anymore. I didn't care, and so like I was kind of in and out on this match. Like, all right, when's Dominic turning? And after the match, okay. Well, now I'm a little interested, but
hey,
like,
Dominic showed more fire in those 25 seconds than he showed in his entire career in WWE, to give credit. He actually showed some personality for once and some facial expressions. So, yeah.
And did Ray not teach him how to tie his shoes? Because didn't both of them fall off while he was kicking Edge?
Maybe.
Yeah. Like one of them fell off or something after he did the low blow or something. But
how do you lose your shoes doing a low blow?
I don't know, but it slipped off. It slipped off, and then I think he just took the other one off, so he could walk normal. But no, I didn't care about this match. I mean, sure, it was cool to see Edge on pay-per-view again. Edge and Mysterio teaming up for the first time in 12 years. 12 years. Not 20 like they've been saying on Raw for the last however many weeks. But other than that, like we've seen Judgment Day and Rey Mysterio so much that like, why do we care anymore?
Well, at least Ray had like a partner that has charisma and can work this time.
That's true. So, yeah. Like nothing against the match. Like, but I was more invested in Liv because she was showing improvement,
right?
And she was. And whereas this match, it just felt like a basic tag match you could see main eventing Raw.
No, it was. It felt like a Raw match. But you know what the best part of this match was? Or I should say it was after the match. When Dominic actually did the low blow, it was Edge's facial expression. He gets him with the low blow, and he just stares at him as he's like going down to his knees, with this like dumbfounded look on his face. I thought Edge's selling was really fun. Like he just kind of gives him this little sideways look like, what did you just do? As he collapses. Like I thought that was funny. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then Ray just being like, let's go backstage and talk. No, come on, let's go backstage and talk. We'll talk this out before he hit him. That was fun.
Yeah. There was a moment too, I didn't realize until I saw a meme that so Finn Balor gets tossed out into the crowd and he's one of the people, and then there's two people in the front row like laughing at him. You know they are? They were his parents.
I don't remember. I have to go back and see if I can find that part. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, this match. Yeah, I think like it would have been interesting. Like I thought like the match initially was going to be Edge, Rey Mysterio, and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and and Rhea Ripley. But obviously, I mean, I guess someone's got to go stay back in America and look after the kids, yes. But yeah, like because obviously that Rhea Ripley is going to always going to be a factor on the outside there. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Because I guess like the logic thing, like the logic to me was a bit flawed because he turns on them, and then I wasn't sure, like on Raw, it's established he's with the Judgment Day now. But it's like, well, what if you're going to be aligning yourself with the Judgment Day? Why did you help Edge and your dad win the match? Like, why didn't you help?
It's one of those dumb one of those dumb wrestling logic things where it's like, yeah, if you were going to turn on the whole, or was it just a decision you made after in that 20 seconds, that you were just going to all of a sudden do that? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's like what we talk about with heel referees. Like, why are you helping the babyface or by calling it down the middle, the whole match? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's the same thing of like, wait, you actively were like helping them throughout the match and doing stuff. Yeah, but all of a sudden you turn on them. That's weird. Maybe like they'll film something where they're like, all right, you can join us, but we're going to like, tie you to the wall and chop you 800 times, for defying us initially or something. I don't know. That would be funny. But yeah, it's one of those wrestling logic things that doesn't make sense when you stop to think about it for more than 8 seconds. But yeah, I get it. But yeah, the match was fine. It was a Raw match. Yeah. Like you said, it was a Raw match.
Jordan, what are your thoughts? Oh, okay. Oh, you are there.
Oh, he's back. Hello.
Oh, okay. No, I totally agree.
All right.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's
wonderful insight.
That's a good point.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think of that.
All right, moving on. Yeah,
Right.
that says all you need to say.
All right, moving on. I think he's upset because he got that one wrong too.
Yeah,
but a match that could have gone either way, and somehow I just whiffed this completely. Seth Rollins taking on Matt Riddle. Seth Rollins getting the win in just under 17 and a half minutes. Again, all these matches were given quite a bit of time, like every match in double-digit minutes. And this one was personal. You knew this one was going to be a fight, and these two delivered. The anticipation was built from this match. We were supposed to get this at SummerSlam, but Riddle was injured, and so we got it at Clash at the Castle, and I thought they delivered. I thought this was a great match. There was a point where I thought my double count out prediction might be coming true, and I was like, I told you I do know something. Then they got back in the ring, and that didn't happen. So I know nothing. But I am happy to see Rollins get a victory. It's been quite some time since he got a pay-per-view victory. I don't think this hurts Riddle at all losing. I think it's Riddle's emotions getting the better of him, and whatever they do at Extreme Rules, because this isn't the end. There's an Extreme Rules match, the pay-per-view, not an Extreme Rules match coming. I'm interested to see where this feud goes in the next month, because I think Extreme Rules isn't until the 8th of October or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm curious to see where this feud goes, but this match absolutely delivered, hard-hitting. Like, it was personal. It felt personal, and it wasn't quite Gunther Sheamus level for me, but it was probably like my second favorite match of the night. Those two big boys made it hard to follow, but these two tried, and I think they delivered an excellent match. So Richie, what'd you think of this one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that it was possible for them to have a bad match. I thought it was really good. I think Seth Rollins' outfits have become my favorite part of the show. Like him dressing up as Elton John glasses and just looking very wacky.
It's like when you want to see what the Young Bucks wear for the pay-per-view, because it's the same way. How douchey can you make your outfit, essentially? Yeah.
So WWE should capitalize on it and just have a Seth Rollins' own clothing line or some shit. He's so wacky, but
give him a freaking clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
We can afford
give him
man.
freaking clothing line.
$500 a piece clothing line. Are you kidding?
Yeah. But I think this was great. I love the build up to this. It's probably got the most heat because it felt real, because there was legit heat at one point between Riddle and Seth Rollins, and I like that they played off that. They also on the build on Raw when they're interviewing, that was a direct rip off of the John. If you watch, you'll see it's a direct rip off of John Jones and Daniel Cormier, where they're ripping each other via satellite. But yeah, it was really good. And this match, again, there was just two guys that you could tell. I mean, it felt like these two guys just like each other, and they had like a fight. It was good. And I think I predicted Seth Rollins win. I was surprised that he won, and I'm surprised he won kind of clean. So, but yeah, I'm sure this will lead to an Extreme Rules match. I do hope that somewhere down the line, I think both these guys will be champions. Seth will be champion again, and Riddle probably. I think Riddle will get the championship at some point too. So, but yeah, this match was really good.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, Richie, but you picked Riddle to win. So.
I did. I can't remember. Well, that doesn't matter. All the out did way better. So that's the castle. Yeah.
It would have mattered, because if you had predicted Rollins, you would have tied Jordan for the lead.
Yeah.
So it does matter.
Yeah.
I predicted a double count out, and no, I'm never doing that again. Austin Jordan.
Well, I predicted Riddle because God forbid the last pay per view Riddle looks like a total geek and gets a win at the next pay per view. But this is the other match I was talking about though. Yeah, it felt like a fight. I felt like the promos they've been doing where it gets a little personal and stuff is good. Wrestling needs that stuff sometimes. It's one of the things that I think Triple H has been good about is letting these guys cut more natural promos, like letting them just kind of speak within their characters, how that character would react, and this is really good. I like that. I hate when you have these guys that have like a really big grudge and they get in the ring and then like lock up. Like I hate that. So like I like the fact that they got in there, bell rings, and they start fighting. Like that's the way it should be. Or one guy jumps the other guy or whatever.
They go for a roll up. Right? It's like,
roll up. I want to beat you quick. I don't want to beat the shit out of you. I just want to beat you quick. Yeah, no, I just want to pin you. We lock up and go to an arm wringer. Like that's stupid. Like these guys should be fighting. Like that's what you've been waiting for to get in the ring for the bell to ring. And they scrapped. They fought. I like the clash of the styles. This would have been a great like indie match back in the day. Like I don't think they ever met, obviously, because Riddle started later once Tyler Black had been signed. But this would have been a great like PWG style match. I especially over the last couple of minutes where they just started throwing down again. Riddle was like hitting those combos so much that Seth had to like roll out of the ring, but he goes right after him and keeps beating the shit out of him, on top of the table. Like it felt like he was really trying to like put him away. It was good stuff. I didn't pick the winner. I didn't see Rollins getting the pin, but I mean, it's not to say they couldn't have some kind of street fight or false count anywhere or something, at the Extreme Rules thing, and keep it going, and then really unload on each other. But this is probably my second favorite match on the show. It was really fun.
Jordan?
Yeah, my only small nitpick is Riddle was happy in his intro. You know what I mean? I would have had him just more come to the ring a little more ready for a fight. Other than that, I mean, no, I'm glad the match was given time. I also too was like, ooh, is this gonna be kind of like SummerSlam where it's kind of a quick fight, DQ, count out, and then we're saving the juicy stuff for later. But no, the juicy stuff was here tonight. These two, like Pez said, they've had that kind of Ring of Honor, and then for Riddle involved background. So this could have been a great indie match back in the day. And it was a great match on this pay-per-view. Happy to see it here. Happy to see it again at some point here. I think Rollins was. Did I predict Rollins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I did. Because no, I think he was overdue.
No.
He too kind of needed a win because he's been kind of the jobber to Cody for whatnot, and so I think it was time to give him a nice win here, and like it was said, kind of pretty much clean. So good match here, man. Another one where I was pleasantly surprised that there wasn't much bullshit and it was just a good match.
Yeah, right. They just gave him time.
You can't really
have a fight. Yeah, good.
You can't really be mad. You can't really get mad while you're riding a scooter.
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying. Like he brought up your wife and kid. Maybe no scooter.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're gonna like use it on him later, but he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Just want someone to see him go crazy. To
be fair, he didn't want to blow himself up before the match because that was a very long ramp. So he still rode a scooter to the ring, and that's a long walk. So I mean, he wanted to save his energy because he was going to be throwing a lot of kicks and knees.
No, Richie,
he had to save his strength.
I would say, Richie, that reminds me of one of my favorite Daniel Tosh jokes, which is, they say money can't buy happiness. Well, try frowning on a wave runner. You can't fucking do it. You can't do it. You can't be upset when on a jet ski. Yeah. Just, you can't. You try, but it's not gonna work. So it's true. Yeah, maybe Riddle was pissed, but then as soon as he started scooting, he's like, come on."
He's like, "Yeah, but this is kind of fun."
All right, I'll take 12 seconds of happiness.
I'll get a new wife. Those kids are annoying.
Yeah. As soon as I get to that ring, I'm gonna f you up.
Mm-hmm. And then he saw Rollins again. He's like, "Oh, that's right, I'm mad."
Oh, well, I hate that guy.
Oh yeah, you're a dick.
Speaking of hate that guy, in character, I'm pretty sure Drew McIntyre hates Roman Reigns, and also another member of the NY family now.
How
Roman
many
Reigns.
how many members of this Samoan family are there? Legitimately, 800.
I want to say it's half the world population.
Yeah, right. Everybody's related to everybody in
Also, do
Samoa.
they get a choice where they're a wrestler? Do they get a choice where they're a wrestler? You know what I mean? Like, do they get?
You're either a wrestler or a tattoo artist.
And you're transformed. You're a wrestler.
Yeah. Start training now. You're 5 years old.
Don't even think about going to Hollywood.
Yeah. You want to become a doctor? Fuck that. Get in the ring.
You're going to be a lawyer.
Yeah. We don't need that shit.
We have Roman Reigns defeating Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And
Same old shit.
Minutes.
Same old shit. Same old shit. Same old shit. Sorry.
Which I agree with you, which sucks because the match was really great.
Mm-hmm.
And then those last few moments just kind of took the wind out, and I was like,
but then we got some karaoke, so I can't get too
oh
mad.
God, that was.
And then I was like,
cringe to the fucking screen. Jesus.
Is the camera supposed to be on right now? Like, or is it supposed to be off?
Yeah, even Drew said, like, we're not still rolling, are we?
Drew McIntyre said, we're not on the air, are we?
and that's the part I dislike.
You sing American Pie? Like, what? That was weird.
And then he's like, okay, I'll sing Oasis. Don't look like an anger. Okay. Yeah, it felt like a thing for the crowd that we happened to watch. It was just like it's like we intruded in on something. like we just walked in a different room and people singing karaoke. Like, oh shit, okay. I guess
I didn't know it was karaoke night tonight at the bar. I wouldn't have come out. Oh, weird.
I kept waiting, like, oh, maybe the Fiend's gonna return, and no return. I'm just wasting time. And
he was going to, but then they started singing karaoke, and he was like, "I'm fucking out of here."
Yeah,
I don't want to come in. Let me out.
Yeah.
But here's my big gripe with the match. Other than he found a way to use outside interference again. Austin Theory tries to enter the match legally. Sure, it's shady, but legally, and Tyson Fury is like, "Oh no, you're not gonna do that! Boom, and knock you out." But then Solo Sikoa can interfere in the match, and Tyson Fury doesn't do anything, and he shakes Roman's hand after the match.
They weren't close. He was close to Austin. Solo was like on the other side.
But why do you shake a man's hand for winning a match with outside interference? And then Drew, who's like in the match, in the ring, and I'm pretty sure isn't like knocked out. I'm pretty sure he's like eyes open watching, and he's just okay with his friend congratulating him for cheating to win. Like,
well, hey, Tyson Fury, you're not on our roster. You just assaulted one of our wrestlers. How about you're kicked out of the show? You're
How about
arrested.
security arrest this guy?
How about you just knocked out, one of our wrestlers from the front row? How about you're escorted from the building? not just like I get to hop the railing afterwards and just enter the ring because I can, because I'm 7 feet tall and I can, or whatever. Like, yeah, that was just weird. Yeah, and it's like. And he doesn't try to do anything about the, Sikoa guy or whatever. Like when he sees him interfering, like why didn't he hop the railing then and try to do something about it? Like, behind the referee's back. Like that whole thing was just, it sucked the air out of the place. You could feel it. Like it just was like, like again.
He stands for justice as long as it's in his radius.
Right.
Yeah.
Not too much effort.
Yeah, like
because I don't mind Roman winning. I don't mind this reign continuing. I don't want every win to be because of outside interference. And when the Usos and Paul Heyman
start running out of family members,
mm-hmm.
and the Usos and Paul Heyman are like cool, yeah, we got Solo Sikoa on the main roster now. Cool, fine, another member of the Bloodline. But I mean, to debut him in Wales, where Drew is like heavily favored among the crowd, and like I don't know, like if I was in the crowd, I don't know how happy I would be about the result of that.
Like, oh,
I would be fine with a clean Roman victory.
What's that, Richie? You broke up a little bit.
said we could probably get away with it. It's not Scotland. No, it's close. It's further
Oh,
away.
and was it going to be a soccer riot after the match? Bloody people getting thrown under buses after the show. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw if Roman wins, we riot signs. So I'm surprised.
I don't think I saw a riot. That must have been after the karaoke.
He didn't do shit.
They were gonna riot, and then they heard the karaoke,
And they were like, I guess we'll
well,
sing along. Yeah, sure.
If they're okay with it, we can be okay with it.
Speaking of sorry, I have to bring this up. Speaking of things that we saw in the crowd, did you know they panned to the crowd during the karaoke thing? There was a guy wearing a T-shirt that said, "I'm a better dad than Chris Benoit."
Yeah,
I swear to God,
somebody screenshotted that online, and I saw it. That was like, oh yeah, not good.
Somebody lost their job.
Yeah.
You think so? You think PR brought him in the next morning and was like, "Listen, Jeff, we saw you on Clash of the Castle. We have to let you go."
Yeah.
Name redacted cannot be brought up anymore.
No.
So
I know, but I'm saying that's just a normal dude. You think his office fired him the next day?
No, probably not.
No.
But whoever runs the production truck.
Yeah.
No, you're not gonna have to read every shirt and every little cross frame.
Mm.
Well, then do your job better.
But yeah, there were definitely 2 false finishes that the crowd, if Drew had gotten the pin, would have bought. Because there was the one where he hit the Claymore, and then there was the ref pull or something, whatever it was, and there was another one where he hit another Claymore, and it was right in the middle of the ring, and the crowd was ready for it. You know what I mean? They would have been all over it. There would have been confetti, babies flying in the air, people jumping up and down. I mean, everything. If he had won there, and that's where I thought it was going to go, and I was like, shit, man. And then it's just the same old, WWE kind of dirty, dusty finish. It's just, I think that the crowd was just when they saw the interference starting, I think they all kind of went, oh man, because they saw what was coming, and it was just oh damn. And no amount of singing I thought was gonna redeem that, or any of that. It was just it just kind of ended on a weird note.
By doing the karaoke and stuff, it reminded me of when Cena would lose the title at a pay-per-view, then he'd come out on Raw and be like, whatever, you win some, you lose some, it's fine. No, you should.
Yeah, he was not that mad. Yeah, it felt really weird on pay-per-view. So Drew was like, he got me this time. Who knows Oasis?
Yeah, don't worry. Maybe I'll get it back. Maybe I'll get it back in 30 years when we come back to a stadium, in Wales, like we hyped up in the video before of the big deal of, British Bulldog winning, at Wembley. And then 30 years later, we hype it up and he loses. That was just weird to me.
Has anyone, any Styx fans out there? Any Styx fans? No? The who?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah, what do you want?
So I'll do a little Baba O'Reilly. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I thought up until the interference, this match was really good. Those last few moments just kind of take the wind out of it. It doesn't take away from the match overall. I still think it's a really good match. Just the finish was the same old finish in a Roman Reigns match from the last 730 whatever days now.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of a bum way to end the pay-per-view, but still overall a great show. I always ask, out of 10, what are you giving this show? I think I'm rocking an 8.5. Jordan, what about you?
Damn, somebody coming to me later. It's right there, man. 8.7.
I always got a 1 up me.
I do.
In this case, 0.2 up me. Austin, what about you? What
solid 8. Solid 8. If Drew had won, it would have been a 9. It would have been great because every match was at least okay to good. And there was, like I said, 3 really good matches, 1 match of the year candidate. Anytime you have that, it's a really good pay-per-view. I think if at least half the matches are great, you know what I mean? That's a pretty good pay-per-view. But yeah, had it ended on this big spectacular note, had it ended with a Drew victory, I think it would be one of the best pay-per-views of the year, honestly.
I agree.
Had it done that, I think it would be holy shit. That Clash of the Castle came out of nowhere and was one of the best shows of the year, wasn't it? Damn, that was great. But yeah, other than, so now it's just.
I still think it's going to stand as one of the best of the year, though.
Still, but if it had that extra,
I do agree. It would have been.
Yeah, it would have been something. So I'll go. So because of that, I'll go with an 8. It's just a solid 8.
All right, Richie.
I'm with Austin here. I'm going to go a solid 8. I think, yeah, if Drew had won, and maybe I understand like why he didn't, but like I think if Sheamus had won as well, I think that would be a cool moment. But yeah, I would say 8.
Hey, WWE, you can have Roman and Rock without a title. We did Rock and Hogan. Rock and Hogan had a fucking great, awesome, crowd pleasing match without a title at WrestleMania 18. You can do those without a title. Just saying.
Yeah, why does The Rock need the title? Like wouldn't that be just another burden of responsibility? It's like I've already got this full schedule.
The Rock's not gonna win, baby.
And
Roman's gonna defeat him and truly show that he is the tribal chief. All hail.
But I actually I genuinely think they're going to give the title to Cody though. That's what I'm thinking. But Kieran Cross comes in there somewhere too. I don't know where he fits in, but yeah, I think they're getting the title to Cody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he threw a water bottle at Drew and then did nothing the rest of the match.
Yeah.
I love how Michael Cole too was like, "Oh, come on, let's not start that."
Tyson Fury would have done something about that had he been on the other side.
That's true. He would have stopped that water bottle. He'd just been like,
"Yeah, we'd have smacked it out of the arm
today."
with his big ass.
And then he would
arm.
finish drinking it.
Yeah. But he was a whole 1 row away, so he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But with that, Jordan did win the predictions for Clash at the Castle, only getting the Judgment Day wrong. Got 5 out of 6. So,
woo!
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more impressive to predict, out of 15 correctly, but whatever. Take your 5 out of 6.
Quality over a quantity, my friend.
Well, I don't know, because All Out was pretty quality too. I mean,
I don't know. Well, at least my pay-per-view is going to matter in a week. Oh,
he's got you there. I mean, I have. I'm on your side, Jacob, because I won as well. But he's got you there.
Yeah, if I just predicted the 4th pre-show match correctly, I would have finally won the predictions. But I was like, no, let's give Ruby Soho a victory on a pre-show. That was stupid. Because that is the first match on the pre-show for All Out 2022. And boy, this show really meant something. We have a Mixed Tag Team match for the AAA World Mixed Tag Team Championship. Apparently I missed that because I was just like, oh, it's just a tag team match, and that's why I went at Ruby and Ortiz. Like, yeah, sure, let's give the good guys a victory on a pre-show, because I was unaware that it was for a title at the time of submitting my prediction.
Change that.
No, let's
change it. It still says Clash, Jacob. We're not talking about that right now.
Sorry.
Nope. Change that too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job. I can't multitask.
No, I do that too. If you ever watch my countdown show, top 10, like there's several times where it's like we're on number 6 and it still says number 8 because I just forget.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that's why co-hosts are a wonderful thing.
Technically, we're still on the kickoff show, so it wasn't really All Out yet.
That's the All Out buy-in 0 hour.
Buy-in 0. Yeah, what's it's not the buy-in. It's not the buy-in. It's what the fuck was 0 hour?
0 hour.
What is 0 hour? What does that mean? Yeah.
Which, by the way,
not quite hour.
I forgot to watch. I ordered the replay. I watched it on Monday because I was too busy with a fantasy football draft Sunday night. I watched the replay Monday morning. So it was like as soon as I woke up, I ordered the replay and watched it.
Yeah. I watched the buy-in show and the first hour live, then had to go to sleep because I had to wake up at like 3 a.m. And then it took me 2 days to finish the show because there was a lot of matches. It took me a while to finish the show. So yeah.
So since I didn't watch the pre-show, and Jordan, I'm assuming you did because you're a completionist. Would you run us through the pre-show, please? And I'll jump back in when we get to the main show.
Yeah, I mean, not a hell of a lot to say. Yeah, the AAA mixed tag titles on the line here. I figured basically what I figured because I always kind of assume that, like, well, you know, do they even have ties directly with AAA? And as far as like Ruby and Ortiz, are they going to get booked anytime soon? So it ends up just being they get the rubber match here, you know, added at the last second. I kind of zoned in and out of the pre-show myself. I was laying down before my brother came over, taking a sometimes a nap, sometimes paying attention. So I wasn't super in on it either. Up next, it was a little bit longer than I think any of us expected. Almost 4 minutes. Angelo Parker took the task to Hook for the FTW title, but the prediction that we all figured, which is Hook retaining and setting up a tag team match that they did pretty much confirm this week with Hook and Action Bronson to take on Angelo Parker and Matt Menard.
Hey,
so
to be fair, he looks like a fucking wrestler.
oh yeah, if you don't know
like
who
Bray
he
Wyatt.
is,
Yeah,
Bray Wyatt.
he looks like Bray Wyatt and Otis had a baby. Like I don't, and one of the guys from the Viking Raiders, all mixed together in a blender. Yeah, with the beard.
So we had that. So yeah, so Hook retains the Atlantic title. First time we're seeing it on actual television here.
TNT title.
Pac defeating.
I mean, FTW.
What? We're done. What else do you want me to say?
I think you said Hook retained. You said Hook retained the Atlantic title.
No, and then I moved on, Richie.
He's just quick with his words.
Go.
He's just quick with his words.
Sit down, bully.
Okay, go.
He wasn't on the show.
No, he's wearing a shirt though. He's a bully. The
Uh,
All Atlantic title. Pac defeated Kip Sabian. 10-20. Good match again. Slightly predictable outcome.
What a weird fucking match. This is a weird match.
This match was weird. I want to talk about this. This is weird because you have two good athletes. I think Kip Sabian is underrated. I think they could have a really good match, but instead they start off really weird, and then it was just like that. But then Kip Sabian got in his own head, and then I guess the box is now like equivalent to like Al Snow's head. It's like his own thing.
I had no idea what was going on in this. What are these guys' characters, Richie? I don't watch this week to week. So what is this bastard character thing that Pac is doing? Because it was weird. What is this?
I don't know if there is much more of an explanation than he's a bastard. He's kind of mean. I don't know.
He's just kind of mean spirit. But the Kip Sabian thing is that he was away injured, and then for the longest time he'd supposedly been in the crowd with a bag, a box on his head that said underrated and over it, and then he eventually kind of came back and attacked Pac, and then they set up the match. But yeah, I didn't realize the box was going to play a part.
Is it like the urn for the Undertaker? The box is his urn.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's just this could have been a good match, but it was more of a match,
a character match.
The character.
Yeah, it was a character match. It was very strange. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, any weird match. Yeah, it's a good thing they had another one after this because that fucking match was weird. If the kickoff show had ended on that would have been very strange. Oh, jeez. Look at Jordan.
Like you guys said, this was just because it's the first time we're seeing Kip in this gimmick, and he's been in the crowd for months. This is me meeting him, or at least someone in the box, but I believe it was him.
What's in the box?
Back in March or whatever.
What's in the box?
Who's in the box? Who's in the box?
And he had been under that even longer. So first time seeing him, he accompanied his girlfriend or fiance Penelope Ford this week, so they're kind of continue to be an item. And then finally, speaking of, before with Sheamus and Walter, we now get the AEW big men just beating up on each other. The pre-show main event, Eddie Kingston defeating Tomohiro Ishii. That was a good match here. Actually, I dug it. I mean, kind of similar
Fuck
to
that.
what we saw in
This match should have been the fucking main event of the whole show. Fuck that. This match was awesome. This match was great. This match was exactly what I wanted to be. They did a tribute to Kobashi and Sasaki chopping each other 900 times to start the match. That was great. I don't care. That was an awesome way to start. They could have chopped each other for 45 minutes, and I would have watched every second of it. It was amazing. Headbutting each other, back fists, brain buster, all kinds of shit. This match was fucking 15 minutes of these two stocky, short, just crazy assholes just beating the shit out of each other. It was fucking glorious. I love this.
Yeah. And the only reason we got this match as well because Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara had a fight, and so they took them. They stopped. They didn't pair them together, which I think we're all better for it.
And Kingston got taken off TV for a while too.
All for the better.
It was very cool to be like, and now he's on the pay-per-view. He's on the pre-show.
Yeah. So I think if it meant we get this match, then we'll end up fine. So this match is great. I think the right guy won. That kind of and then the at the end with with sort of Tom Hirooshi kind of snubbing him, it kind of sets up for a rubber match, a third match. So I'm all for that. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and they could even put it off for a while and have it even next year. They don't even have to do it, near. They could do it, sometime down the line and just remind us, these guys killed each other, So
I do expect that it might be a couple months. Yeah, it's not something you have to get to this week. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I liked it.
Yeah, but all of you were 4 for 4 in predictions on the pre-show. I went 3 for 4, so. Sounds like a solid pre-show, maybe one that I'll go back and check out, especially that.
Just go back and watch Eddie and Ishii beat the shit.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, that's the one to watch because even the first one, I feel like they kind of hot started, and it's not like the most complete match, the tag team match, and definitely, I would say check out the main event.
Yeah,
of the pre-show.
Yeah,
because I did check out the main event of the main show, and.
But that match doesn't matter. We'll talk about that. It didn't matter.
A match that does matter, even though the finish was kind of wonky.
I guess
we had the Joker, who would be revealed later on in the show, defeating Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Penta, Rey Fenix, Rush Andrade, and Dante Martin in the Casino Ladder match to receive a future AEW World Championship match. If you watched the show, obviously Stokely Hathaway and his group.
The king of ladder matches.
I don't even know. I don't think the group has a name yet. If they do, I have not heard
Retribution.
It yet.
Aren't they Retribution? The
Retribution. Okay.
Just playing black clothing that end.
If they're led by a lawyer, they should be called the litigators.
That's actually pretty kind of cool.
Nice.
Team Random, because these guys I don't believe that any of these guys would hang out outside of the show.
Nope.
Well, no, that's why I made it's also
except for the guns.
That Retribution joke, because it pretty much does seem like guys that all have a gripe, hey, why wasn't I on the show? Why wasn't I signed? They're all random, which is fine, but yeah, it's Retribution so far.
Yeah. So, Stokely Hathaway takes the chip down, waits for the Joker to enter the ring, hands the chip to the Joker, and that is the end of the match.
Boo!
I mean, first of all, I've never been a fan of this match type.
This is a weird premise. A Royal Rumble ladder match, where anybody can win at any time. That's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah,
how great?
Why wouldn't what happens if someone gets a chip before someone comes out?
How great would it be if Wheeler got in the first 2 minutes and the other 5 people were like, "Oh, what the hell?" And they're backstage, all in gear, never mind. I don't necessarily hate the stagnant Rumble entrance, but then add the War Games element and the fact of making it where you can't win until everyone's out there.
Well,
Fine.
what we said, Jordan, what I was talking to you the other day about, like before we did the other show, have it to where you can have the thing hanging, but maybe have it lifted higher. Have it higher.
100%.
So have it higher to where no ladder or nobody standing on top of any ladder would reach it, and then once everybody's in, you put like a spotlight on it. You make it a big deal. You lower it down to wherever it's supposed to be, and then there's a scramble to go get it. You know what I mean? Like something like that.
Because
there's a way to do that.
Yeah, I get the idea of doing it Rumble style. That way you can kind of have everyone have kind of their moments. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's Rush's entrance. Now Rush will look cool for a minute. Here's Andrade. He'll look really cool for a minute, kind of like a Rumble. So I get that. I don't hate that, but it is just a very funny idea of like this match could end in 3 minutes with like the other 4 people not being out there. Come on, you know.
I mean, I guess that really fits into like the whole casino thing because like luck can play a factor in it.
Can we stop with the casino thing too? It's all out. Why is everything still a casino with AEW? Like this is not Double or Nothing. Why do they love that name?
Speaking of Rouge, like someone needed to clue in. Like Rouge was in no rush to get to this ring. just walking the ring.
Yeah, it's like, 2 guys literally on top of the ladder, 2 feet away from grabbing it, and he's just taking his sweet ass time. And yeah, if somebody had won, you'd look like a fucking geek. You look like a goddamn idiot.
Well, even Rouge was probably unaware that the match could end.
Yeah, like it's just this whole thing was weird, and this match was on its way to being like the crowd was getting into it. There was some cool spots. Daniel Garcia was jumping like Spider-Man all over the goddamn place, and that was fun. You know, jumping on top of ladders and grabbing on people, and that was cool. And yeah, I mean, there was good spots. There was the destroyer on the ladder, the frog splash combo thing. That was fun. You know, the crowd was like getting into it. It was still a wonky premise, but at least the crowd was rolling with it. It was starting to get good. And then you just have this shit at the end. And to me, it just, you could hear like a vacuum chamber at NASA. You can hear the air just get completely sucked out of this building. And that's not what you want to me, in my opinion, that is not what you want for your opening match. To have an ending that sucks the air out of the fucking building for literally the opening match. I thought that was not a good decision. Like, just the way it played out.
Well, yeah, like two things. Like one, they must have paid a lot of money for that Rolling Stones song.
Dude, that thing must be expensive as hell because Rolling Stones and the Beatles are like 2 of the most expensive like licensing music things you could ever use for anything, movies, TV, whatever. So like, I don't know how much Tony Khan is paying for that song, but it's got to be like 6 figures at least because that is expensive.
Yeah, and
expensive.
And also like like you said, like I give shit to like if you've ever watched the TNA and the King of the Mountain match. King of the Mountain match is very convoluted, but at least like with King of the Mountain, like. At least with King of the Mountain, you know, okay, people have to pin and qualify to climb the ladder. It's like they have to. You get the idea that in order to reach, like, so it makes sense for when someone else comes out. So that they have to qualify to I don't know. I just think the whole kind of Royal Rumble aspect is kind of silly. So I just think that they should put an aspect where someone has you either have to qualify to get up the ladder, or like you said, make it higher. Because otherwise,
make it higher and drop it down once everybody's in, and now it's in play. Now there's like a scramble. Oh shit! Here comes the thing. Let me go get the ladder and try to like grab it really quick, before anybody else can, and make some tension. Like then that it's like the Elimination Chamber. There's like the countdowns and stuff or whatever. Now it's like in play. Now it's ready to go, and now you can have like a build up. You can even do a countdown for the thing coming down. Something, anything, and then there you go. And now it's like there's a buzzer, and now everybody can scramble and go get it. It's just the way the song was long. Like I get the choice of the song, but it seemed like it took forever for him to come out. I thought the decision to have Stokely, like he goes up and gets the chip, reveals himself, half the crowd goes, "Who?" You could hear that, and then you have the other person come out, just get handed the thing instead of him actually climbing and getting the thing, and then and he doesn't reveal himself. It was like letting the fucking air out of a tire. Like it was just really, really. I hated this. I hated this. Like it's terrible.
It gave me vibes of the Money in the Bank where like Brock just kind of comes out the last second. Like,
right.
I'm never a fan of things like this. It just rubs me the wrong way. It's an opener too. Same thing as if it was the main event. I would have been mad if this was the main event. So maybe if you're gonna do something wacky like this, maybe put it more in the middle. I don't know. It was a bad way to start it. A very kind of some good spots, typical Money in the Bank, except this case with a chip ladder match that just ended on such a whimper. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's still a better way of telling the MJF story. even if it was just simply MJF showing up and being the 8th man, and like he can still kind of win like relatively quick and cheap. And I don't know, I just feel
and like I said, you may not agree, Jordan, but I'll put it out to the people. Like you could have had him come out as the Joker, get a big pop, and maybe like he's hesitant to get in, but then he sends his fucking minions to clear the goddamn ring, and then he just climbs up easily and gets the thing. That's what a heel would do, though. A heel would fucking essentially cheat to win.
If I fought that, I'm not fighting it now. I like that. I like that a lot better.
Yeah, like he goes to get, there's people waiting for him. Maybe everybody sees him and goes to like they're at the bottom of the ramp like waiting for him, like come on, motherfucker. But he sends the swarm out. They at least scrum with everybody. And then during that, he just casually climbs up the ladder and grabs it and smiles. You know what I mean?
I think that fits MJF too. Of like, he
barely that bastard. Yeah, he didn't break a sweat getting the thing. Yeah. And the crowd would have popped for it. They would have dug it. It would have made for a great moment. And you can still have him come out after Punk wins. You know what I mean? And do the tease of like, hey, look at what I got. Like we ain't done. I remember.
It was just too much of like, okay, it's Stokely. Yeah. Okay, who is this? Okay, they're not gonna. Okay, that's how I looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about this off air before another show, and you had brought that up, and then Jordan, I thought Jordan, you had brought up a good point too. That if it does happen that way, and MJF does come out as the Joker and does that, like it's kind of telegraphing the main event. Like
that's what I mean.
You're setting up an MJF Mox.
Maybe just save this match for Wednesday.
You are,
or I don't know.
Spoilers, you might be setting up an MJF Mox match now.
Now it does look like that. I feel like that's not going to happen now because that's something feels too obvious. But that's what. Definitely. Like that's what I mean. Like I feel like I kind of like in their defense, kind of get it because you don't want to let people know outright it's MJF until the last second potentially. But I don't know. Just maybe do this match Wednesday then. Do you need us, on the 14th, ladder match? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, great action, but that finish really takes you out. And then who would have thought that a match
really scary moment by Dante too when he first comes in. There's a ladder that nearly just conks him.
Oh, fell on top of him. Yeah, and like Claudio
just keeps going like nothing happened.
Well, and then Claudio had to improvise that thing, whatever that contraption was, where he had to like lift it up and dump Andrade.
I got a feeling he was doing something else in his mind.
But he's so freakishly strong that he's just like, whatever. I'm just gonna power this fucking thing up because I'm an incredibly strong freak of nature and just do that. And but I mean it's I just thought they were trying to be a little too clever with the ladders, and I was like, this is not gonna work out too well. And then sure enough, there was a couple of spots where it's like they had to like jump around the ladders to like do their spot. Like there's an awkward moment between Wheeler and Phoenix where they had to like jump down and go around the ladder to like do their spot. And it was weird because the one had fallen over. But it's like guys, I get that you want to be clever, but let's not be too clever because things can go wrong. Okay, and then if it goes wrong, then you got to do some hardcore call some audibles. But I get what you're trying to do, but let's keep it to the basics. It's just the opener, guys. You can just throw each other in the ladders and people will dig it. Like it's fine. It's not that big a deal.
Also, eventually, I do want someone who's not the Joker to win this match because I think last time, I mean, I don't know if it was last time, but I remember when Brian Cage debuted, that's how he won that shit. It was a Joker. It's almost like telegraphing. Whoever the Joker is going to win this match. I mean, I don't know if
was Wardlow the Joker, or do they not have a Joker in that one?
I don't know if they had a Joker in that
one. Well, there's one. The Scorpio Sky one was Ethan Page, so the Joker doesn't always win. And
I guess that was a different.
Leo Rush.
They had a ring. They had a little.
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush.
Same idea.
Yeah.
Leo Rush was the Joker the time Jungle Boy won.
Yeah, so they don't always.
That was a battle royal and not a.
That's why I predicted somebody besides the Joker because I didn't know. I thought. Well, again, I spouted my thing where I thought MJF would come back, but he would just come back in the main event. He wasn't going to be the Joker. You know what I mean? Like I had a whole different thing where I thought it just would have been somebody, even like an indie guy or something, but still have like Claudio or somebody win. Like I just had a different idea, but that didn't pan out obviously.
Who would have thought that a match featuring Claudio, Wheeler, the Lucha Bros, Roosh, Andrade, and Dante Martin would be considered one of the lesser matches? One of the low points of the show.
Because at the end of the day, we want one of those great athletes to just win it versus wackiness of like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's wrestling that we're watching. Damn.
And speaking of Claudio, this Friday, tomorrow, I believe, we were getting Claudio and Dax Harwood for the Ring of Honor World Championship. So
Not sure why Dax is in line for a world title shot, but hey, it's gonna be a great match.
Yeah. So
I
mean, Dustin Rhodes.
Hey, remember, guys, rankings matter in AEW, right? Right? Right?
When do they add
yeah,
Ring?
yeah.
When do they add like the Ring of Honor
Ring of
World
Honor
titles
has
as part of their rankings? Like if you're 1 through 5, you get a shot at the AEW.
Yeah, Dax Harwood beat all these.
You get.
Yeah, so Dax Harwood beat all these Ring of Honor guys to get a title shot, right? Oh, he didn't. They just.
Oh, he lost every singles match he's been in for the last 2 months.
He's appeared on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, so he counts.
Oh, gotcha. So he's technically kind of a half Ring of Honor. He has a Ring of Honor belt in his position as well. So yes, right.
So up next, I mean, I don't even know if we need to talk about this match. It's the finals of the AEW World Trios Championship, where the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, defeated Adam Page and the Dark Order in just under 20 minutes. 1950 is what I got on Wikipedia.
That's what I had.
And
I agree with Wikipedia.
I thought this was a great match. I thought this was smart booking. Like I feel like maybe they knew, like, well, we're gonna reintroduce MJF this way, but it might not, resonate with the fans very well. So we're gonna book Omega after that and get the crowd back into the show. I thought it worked. It was a great match. I thought it was interesting that Alex Reynolds and John Silver were like targeting some weak points for the opposing team, and Adam Page is like, "Hey, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna win this match the right way." And we were all like, "Hey, yeah, but isn't it time for Adam Page to turn heel?" And he's like, "Hey guys, let's play nice and be
Makes
fair."
you wonder where his allegiance truly is.
Yeah, but
we found out after the show.
Also, wasn't he the first one to like quit or get fired, and he was there on Wednesday? So I guess he's not.
I don't know.
Yeah, like what that's what I was saying. Like you like there was something you posted in the chat where it was like it looked official, like, oh, he's quit, and then it's like I don't think so because no one's posting this, and I can't think any information. And
Jacob, you're the people CM Punk was mad at in his scrum. Fucking amateurs posting bullshit. It's like my brownie or whatever. We're fucking children over here. Jacob Barber, goddamn it.
Goddamn armchair quarterback. Stupid.
Anyway, this match doesn't matter, so let's move on.
technically, that's true. Much like the main event, we can just move on because it didn't matter. But yeah, I mean, it was still a good match. Like you know what? But here's the thing: it was every Young Bucks match you ever seen in your life, which basically consists of 8 to 10 minutes of stuff that doesn't really matter, just like random, tag team wrestling, whatever, and some character work, and then the last like 6 minutes is always just balls out crazy fun. Like that's about every Young Bucks match you've ever seen, especially if you watch any PWG. That's like formula, but it doesn't mean it's not fun. Like those last 6 minutes are always a lot of fun. They always do crazy stuff. I thought the spot where Kenny went for the one and winged angel and Alex got the roll up, like was like one of the best false finishes I'd seen all night. Like I thought that was
the crowd was ready.
The crowd was ready.
Yeah.
If they would have rolled with it, they would have popped because like that was an amazing false finish. I thought that was brilliant. But yeah, there was even the spot where they hit the BTS or whatever it's called, the
BTE trigger.
The BTE trigger, and then the Young Bucks were like guarding the pin, but they forgot about the other guy behind him and pulled the thing. I thought that was a great false spot too. I thought that was good. Like they had some really creative like false finishes here, and yeah, I think had Alex or whoever pulled that spot, like they would have rolled with it. They would have bought it. So yeah, it was good stuff. Yeah, I mean, probably at the time, I know, we'll talk about what happened after the show, but like at the time, it was probably the right thing to do, only because Kenny and the Bucks are so established that it's like, it's like you could have, teams chase them, you know what I mean? Just because they're those guys. But and you know, I didn't think they were gonna let Kenny lose on his first match back, first big pay-per-view match back. But yeah, it was still a lot of fun. Yeah, good falsies, good spots. Yeah, it was fun stuff.
Yeah, this is a really good one here. It probably surpassed my expectations because I'd kind of wanted other teams in the finals. I'm also 0-2. I'm 0-2 in predicting who wins these matches because I was also wrong on Wednesday. I'm like, now it's best friends. Now it's Cassidy. Never mind, it's that triangle. God damn it, I'm not good at predicting this evidently. Because again, I'm personally like I get it. You know, like Pat said, Omega's first big match back, but I'm a firm believer in like spread the love. Like Omega and Bucks definitely don't need the titles. I thought it would have been a great moment for like Reynolds and Silver of all people to get titles for the first time. Cassidy, they've teased him so long, like of coming so close to the TNT title, to that IWGP US title. Like I thought it would have been a great moment if Cassidy, Chuck, and Trent held them, but instead we're getting like again, Pac is now a 2-time champion at once. And Penta and Phoenix have held titles before. And I just always kind of felt like, damn, man, you're missing chances to kind of solidify another crop of people.
Well, and also, build people, Alex and Reynolds, and it's hard to like really build them up and be like, holy shit, these guys are like damn near main winners now. Like they got this huge win. They beat
like
the favorites.
A really nice, beautiful story. Like those are two guys that literally were jobbers. They were local New York jobbers on one show and have worked their way into full-time contracts. And you know what I mean? Johnny Hungy's got himself legitimately kind of over in the past. So yeah, I was really kind of hoping for that win here.
Well, it's the same with Wheeler Yuta. I used to watch. He was at shows down here in Greenville, an hour from me. Pro Wrestling Turbo down here, like wrestling main events at Pro Wrestling Turbo, even up until after he was starting to make dark appearances and stuff. You know what I mean? And even a few Dynamite appearances, he was still doing those shows. And now he's like pretty much a mainstay, you know. And he's going to be around the company for a long time. Like it's cool when they build those guys up and crowd gets behind him, you know. Like if Alex had gotten that pin, I think the crowd would have rolled with it. Would have been like, holy shit, amazing.
Would have loved it, man. It would have been a cool moment. I think the moment would have been that much cooler because at the end of the day, Bucks and Omega holding the titles is cool. I think that moment of like, wow, these guys had it would have been just that much sweeter. And there's only one ever first-time champions. And which I think would have been even more caveat.
Well, and crowd likes a fun upset. You know what I mean? Like it's a swerve in the good sense, not like a swerve just for swerve's sake, but like if you have like an underdog get the pin, get that win, like the crowd, and like what was it, the 4-way for the All-American title, the one guy, the New Japan, the Clark guy, whatever. Like when the crowd started like getting behind him, like at that, and there was a certain point in the match where like if he had won, like the crowd would have been surprised, but it would have been like, yay, cool, that was fun. Like it's one of those things.
Something you didn't expect. Yeah, absolutely. It's a slight opportunity I feel was missed here, but
go ahead.
Good match, and then unfortunately, it does end up not mattering 3 days later.
Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
I did like how it was cool, like because I thought like with the Dark Order, like obviously John Silver's over, obviously, and all of them over, but Alex Reynolds, I don't think it's enough props. And then but there were at points there were chants of Alex Reynolds. I'm like, oh cool, he's finally getting like his his props, because I think it takes two to tango, and I think he's a really good wrestler. So I was glad to see him getting his due. But yeah, it would have been cool because that was a really good false finish. It would have been cool. I do hope that they win the tag titles eventually. Look, I don't know who the if they're going to win I don't know if they're going to win the normal tag titles or just the trios. Like if they do the trios, I don't know if you just go with Adam Page, or it looks like they're going to. I mean, if you go by Rampage, looks like they're breaking away 10 away from the group. So, which is interesting.
They're teasing him to Andrade.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I do hope eventually, because especially I think they definitely deserve it. And considering from where they came, remember how when they debuted the Dark Order, they were running joke. It was one of the worst booked things on the show. it was bad. And then I think Brody Lee came in and kind of rewrited the ship a bit, and kind of made it took themselves, they were able to take and the booking was great, and they were able to people were able to take them seriously. And obviously, of course, like unfortunately with Brody Lee's passing, they sort of became more of a comedy group, but they made it work. So yeah, no, it'd be a cool story if they finally overcame all the odds and won. And I do eventually think they'll win. But but I don't know. But then like as you said before, I think AEW does have a habit of going with like the maybe the surefire thing where it's like I'm worried that they might go back with Moxley for the AEW title because it's like it's like like it's just a surefire thing. So I mean sometimes it's sometimes I think they're gun shy and just pulling the trigger on like someone new. So hopefully eventually they'll get their opportunity.
I agree. I'm the only one that picked the Dark Order to win. I was wrong. But we all got this one right, I'm pretty sure. Except for Richie. Richie was hoping for the Athena win. Jade Cargill, however, would retain her TBS championship in a match that lasted 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Does anyone care?
Well, no,
that's the bad part. Yeah,
That's the bad, no one cares.
Even shorter than I thought it would be, man. I really was like, at least we're gonna get 8 or 9 out of her. I mean, I guess you could say you didn't need to make it longer for the sake of 14 matches or whatever. But damn, man, for this Athena build, not even getting 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I went with Athena. So I'm like, where do you go from here? Like, okay, cool. Jay just beat her like randomly in a
wait until
very underwhelming
Abaddon
match.
comes
So
back
like,
out, man.
I thought, okay, well, Athena's the one to beat her. I'm like, oh, like unless you've got someone coming in, like you've run through the division. Who are you gonna? You're just gonna have Britt Baker or someone that the go-to person?
No, we ran through her already, Jacob.
We ran through already.
And now we're gonna do the babyface comeback.
I don't think they have a direction as to where they want to go.
They're waiting for Sasha's 90 days, baby.
They were never released. They were.
I could see them doing like the whole like just really unexpected like 30-second defeat. You know what I mean? Like Jay gets cocky and like
it's a honky tonk man, Ultimate Warrior all over again.
Yeah, like I guess like legitimately I could see like Abaddon defeating her randomly one night.
Harvey Whippleman, the only man to ever win the women's championship, will come out and beat Jade Cargill. It'd be great.
Oh god, yeah, Michael Nakazawa for the new women's champion at any moment now.
Naka.
So yeah, nobody cares. We can move on.
Naka.
Leva Bates will win the championship. Leva Bates.
Yeah, my girl, Leva. Yeah, give it to
I like Leva, but yeah, I don't see that happening.
And if it doesn't happen on TBS, it doesn't even count. If it doesn't happen on TBS, it doesn't even count.
Yeah. This match this title should stay on TBS because this was a waste of time. Sorry.
I mean,
it's a waste of time. You could have 10 matches.
On paper, I would have allowed it, but the fact is, if you only have like 5 minutes for this match and it's not a great match, like don't shoehorn it in. I feel like this is the second show in a row where they have shoehorned in this title simply to have this title on the show. And I'm sorry, if you don't have a good match with a juicy background, then don't do it. Skip it.
I mean,
have one last match.
They had a good false finish, like a false finish, like like with
and this was probably one of the weirdly slightly better built matches actually now that I think about it as far as TBS title, but
like when she hit the I think she calls the Eclipse the O face now, which is weird. She hit that move and and then I thought, oh cool, that's how they're gonna win. She was gonna pin her. And then she kicked out and then she just won the match. So okay, that was something, wasn't it? Anyway.
All right, moving on. Just like the show, it's like okay, cool, moving on. I did, this was the last match I watched before I went to sleep, and it did its job. I was laying in bed. I put the stream on my phone, and I was like, yeah, all right, cool. I can go to sleep now. Thanks. I'm good. I just wanted to see if I got my prediction right. That was about all I cared about.
But then you woke up and you saw a pretty great 6-man tag when you restarted the show, because up next was Wardlow and FTR defeating Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns in 16 and a half minutes. This was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most, just for that FTR and Machine Guns, matchup. Wardlow and Jay Lethal were there as well, and of course they were the ones that were involved in the finish, which I thought was good. Don't let FTR Machine Guns pin each other, and you can set that tag team matchup later on down the line for the Ring of Honor tag titles. But I thought this match was really good. I thought it served its purpose. Wardlow, I didn't expect him to, do the Powerbomb Symphony on Jay Lethal in a 6-man tag match. I didn't think the Guns would be that out of it that they weren't going to go back in. But, he hits 4 or 5 power bombs on Jay Lethal, gets the win. But I think, looking forward after this match, I'm FTR, one of my favorite tag teams of right now, going up against Motor City Machine Guns, favorite tag team of all time. Whatever Ring of Honor show that happens on, I will be ordering it. I will be watching it. It cannot happen soon enough. If they give it away for free on Rampage, cool. Just give them time. Give them the whole show. It's only an hour long. You can give them the whole show. That's my big takeaway from this match is I want more FTR Machine Guns. What do you guys think about?
I mean, that's the problem with Rampage. I think that's the problem with Rampage. They should just build up 1 or 2 matches. They try to pull Rampage with they put 5 matches on that show. So it's like, oh cool, well one of these matches is going to be 30 seconds, cool, because it's only an hour show. So it gets you out. But yeah, I would love. So if they built up mostly Machine Guns and FTR on a Rampage, I'd be like, that'd be kind of cool. If it was one of the only matches on the show, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, in regards to this match, I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't. I do want to see them just FTR and Ministry Machine Guns just on their own. No offense to Wardlow or Jay Lethal. I thought maybe they would just both have separate matches, but they never really defend the TNT title on pay per view. I think it's been over a year since they've done that. But yeah, this match is fun. And it's just weird seeing, because I watch Impact a lot, so it's weird seeing mostly Machine Guns being dicks when they're beloved baby faces on one show. But yeah, I thought this match was pretty good. Has a lot of it does give me. I'm more looking forward to what they do afterwards and how they capitalize on that, if they do. So, and it's cool they still have a sort of working relationship with Impact, because there are other tags, there are other teams you can bring in, as well with that too. I wouldn't mind seeing them, maybe speaking of Ring of Honor, if they did something with, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett as well. But I thought this match was good. I wasn't over the moon by it. I thought maybe it was a bit better, but it was good. So its purpose. I thought it would be the crowd it would be a bit more over with the crowd, but it is what it was. It was good.
Yeah, it's weird of the 2 matches with tag teams. They were more into the Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory than FTR and the Machine Guns, which is a dream match, in my opinion. But Jordan, Austin, what are your thoughts on the 6-man tag?
Go ahead, Jordan.
No, it was good. Like you said, this is another match that if you had to cut, not saying based on quality, you could probably cut this, because this would be a great TV match to lead into more, because we're probably going to get another maybe TNT title match, and we're definitely going to get into some sort of tag match. That's where the money is that 2-on-2. I love the idea. I think it was Pez or someone who the first said, what about Ring of Honor? Oh yeah, that's right. So I think that's a big marquee match to have on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. If not, hey, I ain't gonna bark if it's on Dynamite or Rampage. So good stuff here. Like I said, it's maybe one trios match too many on the show, but quality wise it was good. So yeah.
You mean you don't like 3 trios matches? They had to do a trio of trios matches.
Yeah, it was like, welcome to trios titles. Here's some trios matches.
I think it's kind of amazing that the Motor City Machine Guns are still a tag team like 16 years later.
Yeah.
It's kind of astonishing. You know,
There was a great photo too
Yeah.
of them with Jay and Sanjay all doing the same pose from like 2004, 2006,
Yeah,
or whatever.
right.
But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible because they were having, great matches back in like 2006 or whatever.
That's your X Division title in 2007.
Yeah, basically, that's your division right there. I don't remember a lot of specifics of this match because it kind of got lost in the shuffle. Because it was, I remember it being like good but not great. Because I think it was just, I think this was a match. Yeah, I'm the same way. I wouldn't say cut it, but I think you could have saved this match for Dynamite.
That's what I mean by cut. I just think
this
is a great TV match.
Yeah, this match didn't need to be on this show.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I didn't think there was like a ton of build for it. Because it was weird when they pivoted, to doing like the FTR and Wardlow thing against the other guys and the power bomb stuff or whatever, and then they just pivot out of nowhere and there's no build and it's like, oh, now we're just gonna sub in the guns, that was weird. So it felt like there was a lack of heat for this match just because of that. There was no investment, so you could have saved this match for TV. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just like I don't remember much about it because it just kind of was there. It was fine. Everybody worked hard. It was good, but I think this would have been better as like a big main event 20-25 minute Dynamite match.
Absolutely, yeah. That's all I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you put so much stock in. You put so much stock into someone like a big guy like Satnam Singh, who they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, they're like this idea, or like, oh yeah, Wardlow can powerbomb him. Like, oh wait, can he wrestle? No,
we don't know.
But still,
Shout out to Dax. Cool moment though of Dax bringing out his girl though.
Yeah, I was about to say in the match to follow, we have Dax's daughter taking on Sanjay Dutt, and Dax's daughter gets the win.
The bell did ring, huh?
I might. This is just a complete side note. I might see Dax and his daughter in the store tomorrow. They usually come in on Fridays after a pay-per-view and Dynamite when he goes home. So I might bump into him at the store tomorrow.
You should do the whole look him in the eyes, and go, "What a great win," and then sideswipe him and shake her hand.
Yeah, right.
Match of the night.
But she's she comes in with him, and so does his either girlfriend or wife, whatever it is. But I tend to bump into him on Fridays. So we'll see because he sticks around to do whatever pay-per-view and then Dynamite, and then usually has a couple of days off in between. And he lives here in Asheville, so and he shops in my store. So I might get another. I mean, not that I'll bug him for a picture because I already got one, but I might bump into him and say hi. So yeah, we'll see.
And Jordan, feel free to use that in trivia. Who is the only father-daughter combo to win on AEW pay-per-view?
Oh, AEW, okay. I mean, if Tessa hasn't messed up, it would have been Tessa and Tully, but
the same pay-per-view?
It would have been, yeah. Because they were definitely leading up to another Tully match that never happened.
I guess I forget that, but forgot about that. But I trust you. And also, I want you to trust me because, dang it, Hobbs destroyed.
No, it was. Hold on, 5:15. That is not a destroy.
Yeah,
but Brock Lesnar, John Cena was 17 minutes, but Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena.
Hobbs kind of took like 90% of the match, bro. You have to admit
Hobbs took maybe 70. I will say 60 to 70. No more, good sir.
It's okay. I predicted it correctly. Hobbs won.
So there's a little bit more than that. Hobbs destroyed him.
Yeah.
Are you just mad because I'm right, or mad because it was against Starks?
Both, because I love me some Starks, but I like Hobbs, so I'm not gonna.
Boy, did this match feel like it got some time cut, didn't it? boy, did it! They were trying to do a 10-minute match in 5 minutes. Yeah.
They were trying to tell a story that Ricky Starks has been too active. He's hurt his neck, but I don't think they really got that story across too much. And so it just felt like, Powerhouse Hobbs kicked his ass, and that was it. It was just like, all right. I'm just like, okay, it was, all right. I was expect. It was one of my more anticipated matches on the show, and I'm just like, oh,
Dude,
okay.
just the way it came across. They even played a video before this, like hyping up like Ricky Starks. I'm gonna bring the fire. I'm gonna take this guy's out. And then he just gets his ass kicked. What a geek! I'm sorry, but that's not a good look, man.
Hey, he got overpowered. He'll learn. And he'll come back.
I'm sorry. There's a thing that Brian and Tom do Geek of the Week, but like Ricky Starks is kind of the Geek of the Week on the show, bro.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'd say Athena was more of a geek than Ricky.
No, because at least she had a competitive match. Starks is like he fired up for 3 seconds. He fired up for 20 seconds. Hobbs kicked his ass. He had a minor comeback, and then Hobbs just kicked his ass and pinned him like a fucking geek. Like I don't know. Geek of the week, Ricky Starks.
If we're gonna go based on the length of a match, let's just wait for later on in the show. As far as
ducked it, splash by Starks. DDT by Starks.
Hobbs kicks his ass.
Near ball, almost a 3.
Hobbs spinebusters him one time and pins him.
I mean, I will refute it once again with Brock Lesnar, John Cena from SummerSlam, where it was a 16-minute match, but you can clearly tell that Brock Lesnar dominated that match with a little bit of offense from John Cena. Even John Cena got some near falls in that one and a submission, I believe, but
yeah.
If you remember 16 suplexes and John Cena just being annihilated by Brock Lesnar.
Ducks the clothesline, ducks another clothesline. Okay, never mind. He's just my fun.
By the way, did they follow up on it? Did they follow up on it on Dynamite? No, they didn't.
Yeah. This just shows my point. What a fucking geek.
Wait till Rampage. He'll be back on Rampage, maybe. Probably not yet. Shit.
Well, I'm pretty sure they had to rewrite the entire show. So
wait, okay. I take it back. I forgot about a match on the show. Jungle Boy is Geek of the Week. I take it back.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get that. He gets that. That was I like to call that a storyline match, but we'll get to it.
Right, but at the same time. All right.
Well, okay, wait. Are we there yet?
We're not, because up next we have and you know how over Sheamus was in Wales. I'd argue the Acclaimed were almost just as over in Chicago, because the Acclaimed had the crowd on their side. It almost felt like Swerve and Our Glory were the heels in the match, even though, I mean, I feel like this was a face versus face match.
No, Swerve and Our Glory was outright getting booed multiple times throughout this match. Flat out booed.
And they were definitely trying. They definitely read the room into being the heels, working on Bowen's knee and stuff. So they read the room and were being the default heels in the match. So.
Well, I mean, you can call audibles, Richie. Workers have done that before, where they read the room, and it's not like you have to be full on heels, but you can take on the role of like putting the heat on the guys, doing the attacks. You know what I mean? Like you can do heel stuff without being heels.
They were actually asked about that on the scrum.
Yeah. It's like you can play it on and just play that role, and then give the Acclaim like the hot tags and stuff. Like there's a way you can do that without turning heel. It's just you read the room and you take on that role. Like it's not like you have to do dirty things. You can just have them make their comeback. Do the hot tag and stuff. So that's fine.
Yeah, and this match was fantastic. Maybe it was the crowd and how into it they were that upped my level of enjoyment for it, but. Man, I love this match. And like for me, this was like one of the most predictable matches of the night. But even throughout the match, I was like, "Are they going to give it to the Acclaimed? Are they gonna take this?" I mean, it was great. Like I had little expectations for this match, and you know what? This might be my favorite match of the night from All Out. I really enjoyed this match. I think AEW does tag team wrestling right. I think that they get the most out of their teams. So yeah, and come on, who doesn't love a good "Scissor Me Daddy" chant?
That's the first time my brother had seen that, and he's like, Does that say "scissor me, daddy ass"? He's like, what is going on in this company?
But I think you could tell. Like I went back and watched Billy Gunn just on the outside, and he was having the time of his life, just running around ringside. Like you're doing the scissors thing to everybody. Crowd was into him. Crowd was like you can tell even he was caught off guard by like the reaction, and he was just like eating it up and having a great time.
I don't scissor.
I think my favorite heckle of all.
I don't scissor anyone.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought about it for a second to which way I need to point. I was like, towards my DVDs. Okay, there you go.
My favorite heckle by the crowd is like I think trying to Keith Lee. You can't scissor. That was very funny.
Oh, geez.
You can't scissor.
But then again,
I thought this
Keith Lee's very athletic. He probably could.
He's
very athletic for a large man.
And
You see those leapfrogs?
He's very nice.
You see those leapfrogs?
He'd be gentle about it. He's a nice guy. He'd be gentle.
Teddy bear. Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about the ending, like after the match, just felt very awkward. Like Billy Gunn and Keith Lee doing the.
Yeah, I thought that was
very half-hearted, and
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're about
I think that's where you call an audible, and Billy Gunn gives a fame answer to Keith Lee. I think you call an audible there, and you just do it. You know what I mean, or something. Like I don't know.
Not a full. That's a heel turn.
It's not a heel turn. The crowd would have loved it. What are you talking about?
No, them attacking them after the match. It was done. No, it's a heel turn.
I think you could have done something, and the crowd would have popped. It wouldn't have been a heel turn.
Not attacking the guys that won fair and square.
You pull the swerve, and you just do it. At that point, they're the baby faces.
No, but if Billy Gunn attacked him,
I think the story they're actually probably trying to tell is that Keith Lee went in for the scissor, but Swerve didn't. I think Swerve and Keith Lee aren't long for being a tag team. I actually think we'll go talk about it in a couple weeks. Rematch. I
even noticed too. If you think about it, on Wednesday the follow up, it was Swerve that came out interrupting their intro, not Lee. Now I don't know if that's part of it because if Lee's not there, but I definitely that was done on purpose to show that no, Swerve's a lightly more angstier, heelish one. He almost screwed Lee over in the Battle Royal at one time, and even in the match itself, it was Swerve going for Bowens a lot, his injured knee or whatever from the past. So yeah, there's definitely a story being told here that Swerve's a little more of the dastardly of the two. And I could see potentially Acclaim getting the titles in that rematch here. I think this was a good test. This surpassed my expectations. This was a prediction of mine to go, these 7 to 10 minutes. Because I just kind of thought oh, okay, they don't have a tag title match. Here's their tag title match. But I think this was a real test of all right, let's see what these two can do with 20 minutes. And it lived up, if not surpassed, I think pretty much everyone's expectations. They seemed like Tony was very happy with it at the scrum. Even hearing in his ear, what the fuck's happening backstage? So it's a good match here. Happy to see Acclaimed. I like them. I look forward to getting their action figures that were announced that weekend as well.
You and your action figures.
Hey, I've calmed down, although I did just buy a Santos Escobar. It was only $10.
Okay. Up next, we had the 4-way match for the.
He comes with an alternate mask. It's cool.
That is pretty cool.
Hey, we all have our hobbies. It's all good.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I can't say shit. I buy movies 3 times. DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. I can't say shit. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? I buy fucking Alligator on 4K. I can't say shit.
Tez owns Hunter X, so he can't say anything.
I own Hunter X over in my DVDs. It is forever in my collection now.
Jordan was in that movie, and even he didn't buy it.
I know.
Have it. I have a copy.
But did you have to buy it?
Yeah, I had to buy it.
What? You're in the movie, and they made you buy it, though. So
yes, I pulled up Hunter X on my Amazon, added it to my cart, and it showed up in my door, and now I own it, and put it in my DVD, and put it in my Xbox to watch it. So yeah, I go all out, right?
It's on Letterboxd. It's on Letterboxd, so go review it on Letterboxd.
Okay, it's on Tubi also.
Yeah.
Well, I just meant Letterboxd to review it.
Yeah. No, I don't do Letterboxd. Fuck all that.
Come on, I'll give you a follow.
I don't spoil people what I think of movies. It's more fun that way.
The 4-way match for the interim AEW Women's World Championship.
Stop with this interim shit. Toni Storm's the fucking champion. You vacated the goddamn title. She's the champion now. Stop this shit. This interim shit pisses me the fuck. It's the same with UFC. Like, knock this shit off. Okay? If you vacate the title, you're not the champion anymore. You crown a new champion. Okay? And the other person can have their rematch when they come back. But enough of this interim shit. Knock it off. Tony, I know you watch this shit because you've changed your booking sometimes after we said shit. So knock all this interim crap off. Just have a champion. Okay? Stop.
But if you are watching, you did make the right decision in having Toni Storm win. Toni Storm.
Yeah, but man, was that
Britt
crowd
Baker.
fucking wanting Jamie Hayter to win. Boy, was that crowd.
Yeah.
Holy
I
shit,
tried
that
in
was-
my predictions, but
I know,
one-
right?
Tony doesn't want to.
I
listen.
tried my
Goddamn
predictions, but no one wanted that either. Apparently.
Yeah, JPO and Richie both taking Jamie Hayter. Austin and I making the right call in Toni Storm. I think you and Richie, Jordan, I think you and Richie made the more fun call. I think seeing Jamie Hayter as champion would have been interesting. It would have been fun. But, yeah, no, I think Toni Storm, if it was Tony and Thunder Rosa, I think Toni Storm still would have won. I think it was Tony's time. And now I'm interested to see what she does with the title going forward. I think she will win the unification match whenever that happens. Hopefully that happens, and then, like, nothing happens after the match to where they have to vacate the title again, because that doesn't make for
I
very
have a
fun.
question. Obviously, with Thunder Rosa aside, if Toni Storm got hurt, is there an interim champion?
Yeah.
Where does it end?
It's like Animal House. They're on double secret probation now.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I think the Toni Storm like Thunder, that wasn't even initially I don't even think that was initially the go-to match. I think the original plan was Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander, and Statlander got hurt, and so okay, we'll, Tony, you get the title. And
because they had just had a match, and then at the last. Yeah, they just recently.
I did watch the videos because I don't watch the show week to week, so I don't mind watching the AEW video packages that they do, but they're quick. They're like under a minute, which I appreciate. They're not like 6-minute video, like fucking goddamn Clash of the Castle. I had like 6-minute storyline recap videos. I don't need that shit. Just give me a minute. Give me the bullet points. All right, I'm good. Okay, I get the idea. But I at least appreciated. They had like Britt Baker cutting promos where she was like, "Well, if I was a champion, I won't get hurt every 9 seconds and be out all the goddamn time. I don't have fragile bones or whatever the hell she was talking about." Like, I did appreciate that as a heel, taking shots.
Isn't her boyfriend injured?
Somebody, her boyfriend's injured right now. But like, I did appreciate at least that. Well, that's what a heel would say. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's not going to break their have to take time off for injuries every 9 seconds, going to fight through it. And then of course we have like the main event, Punk getting hurt again, which is like, I feel like Moxley should definitely like talk about that shit in some of his promos too. Like motherfucker, I wrestle in like barbed wire and light tubes, and you break your hand or whatever, and have to be out for 4 months. It's like I feel like heels should do that. So that was fun. But yeah, the match was all right. That match was decent. It's decent.
Richie, Jordan, you got any thoughts on the 4-way?
Fun enough four-way here. Sorry, you go.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I'll go.
Okay, I'll go. So the 4-way was. Sorry.
All right, one more thing about the. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
All right, and then our following match.
Anyway, I don't really have much to add, to be honest. I thought. I mean, I just thought like I could sense that Jamie Hayter was getting over with the crowd, like just in the build up to all that. So I'm like, oh, maybe they'll do something here. And then I didn't realize how over she'd be with the actual crowd. I'm like, oh man, I understand Tony's probably going to win this, but I think Jamie Hayter should, and then you could build off, the tension between Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, which obviously I think that they're going in for like a breakup there, if you've seen on Dynamite. But yeah, I don't know. I think Jamie Hayter's really underrated. Like the people are really starting to see that she's a really good wrestler. So and not to take away from Toni Storm, she's one of the best in the business. But I think if I was Booker, I'd build towards a Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter feud, because I think that'd be great. So yeah, and it was a decent thing. I think my issue was a lot of women's women's matches in AEW. It's not anything to do with like them. The talent was great. It's just like the women's division is not booked great at all, to say the least. So the crowd aren't invested, and it kind of, if the crowd aren't invested sometimes, then I'm not invested. So it kind of takes me out of the match. Like even like on Dynamite, like Toni Storm took on like, okay, that's nothing. On Dynamite, Toni Storm took on Penelope Ford, but if they did a WWE thing, it was the championship contender match. If Penelope Ford beat Toni Storm and she gets a title shot at Toni Storm, like, just have a title match. Anyway, I
don't like that Eliminator name that they're trying to trademark so hard. Yeah. Especially for an interim title. Yeah, just give her a fucking interim title shot. Who gives a shit?
But yeah, like the match was good. But yeah, like I just wish they booked it. If they booked the women's division better, then there'll be more investment. But yeah, I hope. Yeah, I do wish Jamie Hayter will get a big push out of this. So yeah, Jordan, what do you think?
No, yeah, I like Hayter too. I think she's had a decent couple standout months here. That's why I thought maybe the dark horse, because I thought Storm was kind of the predictable winner, and they went with the predictable winner, which is not bad because Storm's pretty awesome. And OnlyFans. I don't subscribe, but I found someone else send me some photos. Anywho, what was I talking about? OnlyFans. No, I was talking about this match, and yeah, so it was fun enough 4-way here, kind of predictable winner here. But we'll see where it goes forward. Again, I would just scrap the. Not a big fan of the interim thing. If people get hurt, it's wrestling. We understand. You know what I mean? Like just give her the title because it's so weird. Like, should she be that happy? Like, should we care that much? Like, it's such a weird like middle ground here. Like, I can't say I was that excited about this match either, because if you had just straight up said she was a new women's champion, I think I'd be that much more like, oh, cool, she's the champ now. But now I'm kind of like, she's kind of the champ, and now you run into the weird situation of, okay, Thunder might not be back. You know what I mean? Like, so do you just say she's champ now? I don't know what you do. So
that's why you drop that interim shit. Just say we're crowning a new champion tonight. She is the champion. If Thunder comes back, in her contract, it's like I said in the last period. If she has a contract, you say that she had a clause in there that if she goes out with an injury, she gets an automatic rematch when she comes back. Cool, problem solved. No problem. And we just go back to business. Like, this interim shit is weird.
You make it so even that your talent's confused, because like we mentioned on our news show, like it was like she cut this like Thunder Rosa got this promo. She was like teary-eyed promo. She's like, I have to relinquish this title, but now we're going to create an interim title. It's like, well, you're not relinquishing the title. It's like,
yeah, then why are you upset? If anything, it potentially extends your reign to like several more months without a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
don't like the.
You got the Brock Lesnar title reign. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Following this, we had the match of the night. We had Christian Cage.
Yeah, I forgot about this. I forgot about this. Geek of the fucking week. What a geek Jungle Boy is, bro. And it's not that because he got jumped. It's because he gets jumped in the thing, right? And mainly because he was standing around for 5 minutes, just like waiting to get to the ring. We could have just gone after Christian, which if it's such a blood food, shouldn't he just run into the ring and started, jumping after Christian? But he's got to take his time. Luchasaurus choke slams him on the thing. And then they give him an opportunity to not start the match. Like, go back and get help, and we'll, you don't have to wrestle. Aubrey's in his face. You don't have to wrestle. No, I'm okay. And then Christian just kills him in 20 seconds. What a fucking
I don't agree with you almost at all on this one. I mean, yeah, it is very weird logic of like, it's just wrestler logic. Of course, the face is going to go, no, I can do it, and then lose in 5 seconds.
But I think my is like just overall booking a luchador. So, and with Christian, like he like just if this is real, I just go with Christian. So he goes, hey, act like you're going to turn on me, and then align myself back with Jungle Boy for a while, and then at pay-per-view, and then just be completely heelish, and then we'll take Jungle Boy off. We'll catch Jungle Boy off guard.
What a big show double turn this was. Yeah, of like, oh no, he's gonna attack Jericho. Let me tell you the truth. Oh my god, he's triple evil. Turn. Oh my god, yeah, it's unnecessary triple.
Well, it never was. He never touched Christian.
I know, but they were like straight up like teaming at one point again. You know, like they were coming out together. So like it was a turn because they very much did lead to like, okay, they're cool again.
But we've already talked about the match more than the match happened.
Yeah, but I don't. And I guess like I know Jungle Boy like they always comes out with Luchasaurus and stuff like that. I'm sorry, confused, but like it's a blood feud between Christian and Jungle Boy. Do you really like? Did you really need like Luchasaurus in the mix there? So like like I said, I probably just if like the feud would build up all right. So I would when you rush Christian and like maybe I mean you can still do the turn at the end, but maybe Luchasaurus comes out like at the end and like cost a match or something, unless Christian like they reference some sort of surgery or something on Dynamite. Well, unless Christian's actually injured and that's why they did a short match.
He's actually injured.
Yeah, no, they bring that up on Wednesday. That's why like Jim was like, whenever you are ready, because they're basically saying like, yeah, it's not going to be next week. It's going to be a minute.
Mm-hmm. So okay, again,
I guess that's what.
I don't watch week to week. When did he become Jungle Boy Jack Perry? Because that's a mouthful.
Well, that was more of like a very. I think that was just in the last week. He was like, "You're not just fighting Jungle Boy, you're fighting Jack Perry."
Well, you should go back to Jungle Boy because Jack Perry got his ass kicked.
That's why I thought maybe he'd win because I said that in the predictions. I was like, "This is his first coming out as Jack Perry." Jim Ross would drop that every once in a while, but he was never officially billed out as that. I think only Jim Ross would ever say that. Either A, because he can, or B, like no one's going to correct him. That's why I thought maybe he was going to win because I was like, oh, it's his first coming out under his real name. So I mean, because you can't be Jungle Boy going into your 30s / 40s, later on. So he's got to be Jack Perry.
Yeah, but the Young Bucks are still the Young Bucks at 38
but
years old.
They've also announced that like they've kind of like looked at it with a tongue in cheek, like they're kind of cocky heels for the most part. So like they will be the Young Bucks in their 60s. They've already said that.
Ric Flair still calls himself the Nature Boy, and he's 95.
Can you guys get all the way off my back?
I need you to get all the way off my back. Okay, let me get off of that thing.
Stop making good points.
Oh, whoopsie.
All right, well, we'll get off your back on this one and jump into the next match, which I think for the first time that since we started doing predictions, we all got this match wrong.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't think we've all gotten a match wrong before. I mean, I know 3 of us have and one's gotten it right, but we all thought Bryan Danielson was defeating Chris Jericho, and it was the opposite. Chris Jericho defeating Bryan Danielson in the longest match of the night, nearly 24 minutes. And I think they used all 24 of those minutes really well. Jordan, what do you think of Jericho and Danielson? We'll be meeting again next week.
We're already in kind of the rematch. We got the rematch of Danielson and Page was pretty good this week. This was a good match here. Again, was it 23 minutes, almost 24.
40, yeah.
I want to give Gig of the Week to Danielson's rapper for his ring announcement. What is
that?
Dollar Tree Machine Gun Kelly.
Give me at least like because they kind of said like ladies and gentlemen, it's Elizabeth Smith, and then like give me a little bit more as like who am I watching all of a sudden? Yeah,
You know, the guy that does his theme
to
song.
get into that. Yeah, so I don't know.
The guy that does his theme song that I didn't know he had a new one.
I thought it was Slim J. Austin for a second.
Oh yeah, Slim J's doing rapping now. Okay, that makes sense. He is Slim J.
All right, he's gonna that's his new gimmick. He's gonna start announcing people to the ring, whatever. And so I don't know. And then
Not
we had
Slim Shady.
and then we again had Daniel Garcia have a very special ring announcement on Wednesday, which very much to me felt like, well, this dude's definitely gonna fucking win this match. Really nice special intro, really hyping how it's like his town. Anyways, that's Wednesday here. But yeah, no, this was great here, man. Really fun to see these two have a nice, lengthy pay-per-view match here. That's why, this is definitely one of the ones on paper where I was like, this is a cool, very worthy pay-per-view match, and I thought it lived up to it. And kudos to Jericho at whatever age he is, still putting on some really good matches here.
51.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. 40-something. I was like, no, that's right. He's early 50s. Yeah. Because I think even though my dad and my brother was like, how old is this dude? And like we looked it up at the time.
Yeah.
51 and in better shape than I've ever been in my entire life.
And 51 can outdo all of us right now in cardio. Yeah. At the same time, like one by one, watching us drop.
While competing in movie trivia. Austin, what'd you think of Jericho and Danielson?
This was my favorite match of the night. This was match of the night for me. I thought this match was fucking fantastic. I thought this thing built up perfectly. They gave them time. I loved all the wrestling at the beginning. It was like wrestling 101, great submission stuff, great counters, had a nice strong style element to it that built up, with them throwing the elbows and the stomps and the chops, like everything, felt hard hitting. It felt like just a real grimy, grungy, wrestling match. It felt like William Regal helped put this match together, which you can kind of tell he was having fun with it on commentary. But yeah, I think there were some really good false finishes. I just thought overall, like this was just, for me, just overall the strongest match of the night. I thought this match had everything. And for me, this was my favorite match overall. And I was surprised it was, because I wasn't predicting it be like looking at the card, I would have thought, it would have been either the Elite Trios title match or maybe even the main, but I thought this match stole the show. I thought it was fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, I do like dogs too. See.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yours just never barks.
Because he's a respectful dog.
You should listen to him when I'm not on stream.
Real quick though, I do want to say I agree with Pat's match of the night. If you want to throw that out there.
Yeah, for me personally.
No, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I liked this match quite a bit too, and yeah, it was also just it's cool hearing Jericho's old like ECW theme song. Is it probably used in ECW, the White Zombie thing? It was really good match, and yeah, it was.
Yeah, kind of throwback tights too, which is cool.
Well, but they couldn't show any ECW footage. It was all of his New Japan stuff from like the Super Juniors, which was like the J Cups and stuff. It's like I'm using my ECW music. We don't have the rights to the ECW footage, so I just got to use my Japanese stuff or Mexican stuff. So yeah, I thought it was fun. Yeah, like there's still a nice throwback.
Half the Titantron is just him beating up Jushin Liger.
Yeah, right.
No, it was a really good match, and it's just really good storytelling here too, because like the story is like Daniel Garcia going like telling Jericho, look, you're a phenomenal wrestler, you're a great wrestler, you don't need to cheat to win. And what happened? He hits him a low blow and cheats to win, and so it builds that story, which I think has been built one of the better built storylines in AEW at the moment. So it was really good match, really good storytelling, and definitely it's between that and the Acclaim match for me as match of the night. But yeah, they're close. But this match is great.
And then other than their NXT match and a match on Raw in 2013 that went 10 minutes, this is their first big time one-on-one match that these two have ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they lived up to the hype. I liked it. And yeah, I'm with Jacob. I wouldn't even mind doing another one, doing like an ultimate submission match or something. I'm down.
The way they were trading submissions back and forth.
Yeah, I'm down. Or
I'm down for
like a match where it's like a submit or KO only or something like that, like no pins. You know what I mean? Because you could even do like a knockout thing with the way the Combat Club works. So something like that I think would be cool.
Yeah.
The Combat Club should have like Ravens rules. They should have Combat Club rules where it's only submission or knockout. I think that would be kind of interesting, like a gimmick. Yeah, like Combat Club rules.
That could be interesting.
You mean like Raw Underground?
No, but not Raw Underground. We don't need to talk about Raw Underground. But no, I mean, I think you can have
Dynamite Underground.
Or it's a match. It's just no pins. You got to submit your guy or just beat the shit out of him to where you can't wake up. Like I just think that would be interesting as far as like it would fit the Combat Club gimmick. Like I just think that could be something maybe you could develop. But that'd be fun.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we have Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro defeating House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. Interesting news coming out of this match. Malachi Black was reportedly granted his conditional release. I think the condition being that he can't wrestle anywhere for the foreseeable future. Take care of whatever it is he's dealing with, and then when he's ready to come back, I guess his spot in the company will still be there. So I don't know if that played into the decision at all, because it was previously reported that his request for release was denied. But regardless, Darby Allin, Miro, and Sting get the W. Sting remaining undefeated in AEW. Richie, what do you think about this six-man tag?
Yeah, no, it was really good. I think maybe like obviously the crowd really just Sting. I think the match would have more. I think this was at the point where I think the crowd were getting a bit tired, and then so I think this should have had more heat than it did. I think if it was on earlier, this would have a lot of heat. I like everyone involved in the match. But yeah, I guess I've like sort of hearing rumblings about Malachi Black. I'm like, okay, well, I guess Sting and Darby Allin and Miro are going to win. I don't know if I thought maybe that with the feud between House of Black that Miro was babyface, but I don't know. It was kind of clear that he's kind of maybe more of a tweener, considering he refused to tag half the time, and then but yeah, I mean I did like the interactions between Sting and Malachi Black, and yeah, I did like the finish with him sort of turning the tables on Malachi Black with the mist and stuff. So this was a fun match, but it's a fun match and a long show. So I think it could maybe if it was placed earlier, then that would be right. I thought probably a point I was going to make earlier as well is like I felt bad for the women in regards to placement on like matches on the show. I felt bad for the women because it was like it seems like the women's matches were on right after like a match that had a lot of heat. So I was like, oh, we'll get here's a cool down period. We'll have a women's match on. Oh, here's a match with a lot of heat. Here's a cool down period with a women's match on. So, but in regards to this match, I thought it was good. But yeah, nothing blow away or anything. But I enjoy all these guys. It'll be interesting to see where House Black goes from here. If Matthews and Brody King remain like a tag team. Because that'd be kind of cool. I want to see Buddy Matthews do more singles stuff because he's really, really good. And I'm saying that because I'm not just saying it because I'm Australian. But yeah, I thought the match was good, but like nothing blow or anything.
Austin, what do you think of the?
It was a good fun match. Yeah, it just had kind of a tough spot. They were in that death slot right before the main. I think the crowd was kind of saving their energy for the main event because they knew it was coming right after, and was kind of just waiting to get a little crazier for that one. Even the Danielson Jericho match like had heat, but it felt like it should have had a little bit more. But I think the crowd was just a little worn out. I mean, after all, this was like match 14 out of 15 or whatever, I mean, it's just a rough slot. That's a lot to watch. Even when I went to Dynamite and Rampage, if you include all the dark stuff that they do, it's like at the end of the night, it's like 15 to 20 matches. It's a lot for a crowd, even if the main show is one thing. It's just a lot to watch and get into. But yeah, I think they did what they could. If Malachi's leaving, I actually wouldn't mind if Buddy and Brody continue to tag and had a tag team thing going, because I think they make it just a great tag team, because I've always liked tag teams with not that he's small. Buddy Matthews is a bigger dude than you think he is, but kind of a leaner dude, and then have a big monster on his team. I like those tag teams. Those are always a lot of fun. So I would like to see them just have I think they could have really good tag team matches with a whole bunch of the tag teams on the division, and just keep the gimmick going, be the House of Black just as a tag team, and could still be a lot of fun. So, or do some single stuff. Brody's had good singles matches, the ones with Darby and stuff. So, I definitely hope they still continue to get pushed. But yeah, it was good for what it was. I didn't think, I thought maybe just in my predictions that House of Black, you could have given Malachi and them a win on his way out. That was just me personally, but yeah, I mean, it was still fun for what it was. Sting is always he's got that charisma where they were doing those spots where they were both kicking him while he had the Scorpion Deathlock on, and just just powering up and just cranking on it more, and they kick him again, and cranking on it more. Only a guy like Sting could pull that off, man. He's still got that charisma to where you buy it because he's Sting, and I thought that was a lot of fun. So there was some good stuff here. They just had a tough time and a rough spot on that card, but it was good overall. I still liked it.
Yeah. Jordan?
Yeah, nothing too crazy to add here. Like you said, you get the kind of slightly unfortunate, card placement of you're coming off a 23-minute banger. You're about to go into what's hopefully a 20-minute banger. You know what I mean? So this kind of did its right thing. I mean, it was fun. It's a Sting match. So, a couple of nice spots. Nothing too nutso. Even for Darby, there's nothing too, holy shiznit. But you don't need that because you are getting towards the end of the night here. So it was fun. Malachi went out, on his back, which makes sense. It's kind of normally the gist of when, you might be done for a while, if not forever, with the company. So I'll be interested to see where he goes, whether it's his good old friend Paul give him a call, or if he just kind of needs to take care of himself and he'll be back in All Elite. Time will tell.
Yeah, because all the it's just rumors until we hear it from the company themselves. But it was everything that I was reading was, the release was conditional that you take care of yourself and then come back. Don't go wrestle somewhere else. I think he had a Northeast Wrestling appearance pulled. He's not showing up to that now. So whatever it is that he's got going on, I hope he takes care of it. Whether it's health related, personal, whatever it is. I hope he gets the help he needs with whatever it is, and he's back in the wrestling ring when he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because he's one of my favorites going today. I really enjoy Malachi. Speaking of wrestlers I really enjoy Jon Moxley as champion.
Me too, and boy, wouldn't have that been the right decision? Some of us wanted to happen, and could have prevented a whole mess of stuff after this show. Yeah,
because while we go into this next match, which was the main event, CM Punk defeating Jon Moxley in just under 20 minutes, 1955 is what I got here on Wikipedia. I'm gonna pull up this one. What's going on? Well, let's talk about the match first, because the match was really good. Richie, what did you think about the main event?
Yeah, I thought once I kind of saw that the Joker who it was, I was like, okay, they're probably they were before Punk got hurt, they were sort of hinting towards Punk and MJF. So I think Punk's gonna win, win this. And I don't know, I had this idea that Punk would win this in Chicago. But yeah, So it was a good match. I like it. Obviously that false finish with the it was the go to sleep at the start. And it was decent. But yeah, apparently like Punk might have. I think he might. I don't know if it's a. I think it's probably a true story, but like you never know. Where it's like Punk, I think he got hurt. Taking a dive, like tearing his pec, kind of like Cody did. Like even if that stuff didn't happen, he'd still be out for a while. Although the skeptic and he goes, oh, it's probably it's probably a good thing he's out in January. It might give him there's a cooling off period where cool heads prevail kind of thing. I don't know, but yeah, no, it was a good match. It was a pretty good match, but yeah, I even though I predicted CM Punk, I think maybe just for I don't know, and not even just for like drama reasons, but yeah, just I think you can clearly tell that even though Punk can he's still good wrestling, still good. Like I feel like maybe like his body's telling him other things like, hey man, slow down a bit. I keep getting hurt. So it might have been a good idea to keep the title on Mox and then just do Mox and MJF because sort of now you run into this thing where Mox might win the tournament, but it's just like again it might just be another short title reign because I think whoever's going to win the tournament is just going to be gonna lose to MJF whenever they do that match for gear or whatever. So, but yeah, the match is good. Never got to that upper echelon to me where it was like great, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But like we said at the start of the show, this match aged like milk because it doesn't matter anymore. So, but yeah, this match is alright.
So Jordan, the match doesn't matter, but I'd still like to hear your thoughts on it anyway.
No, man. It was a really good match here. They had a good match. This is the match we kind of thought we were going to get 2 weeks ago. We didn't. We got a short one. Even that build is very questionable as to whether or not that was the right call or not. But man, they probably wish they just put it on Moxley. Would have been really solidify him as that real top dog who's at another level. But we had Punk, and we would have led to something interesting with MJF. We've now segued before. I love AJ's explanation. I'm working smarter, not harder. Why would I put myself in the tournament? I got a title shot. I'm not going to do 4 matches with a maybe. I'm going to wait and just fight whoever later on. So we kind of makes me feel like okay, we're going to go with the face here. So it is going to be potentially Danielson or Mox getting out at the end here. So I'm trying to think of another time. This is kind of unprecedented. I feel right. Like, has there ever been not a vacated champion so quickly, but like a suspended, champion so quickly after such a huge match? Arguably, their biggest show of the year, All Out. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. You can say this or Double or Nothing, but I kind of feel like this one because it was their first ever champion crown and whatnot back in the day. So yeah, kind of sucks the wind out of it now. Almost feels like the pay-per-view was a month ago because now it's like, yeah, what is there to say? Good match, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Austin.
When was the last time the AEW pay-per-view main event was the match of the night?
Yeah,
I feel like it's been a long time.
Because
yeah.
Because even I obviously I remember one of the more sort of infamous main events is was it the barbed wire death match, which was the match was fine up until the finish.
The explosion.
With the explosion, and Eddie Kingston still selling it for whatever reason, making him look like an idiot. So I don't know. Yeah,
I feel like AEW pay-per-views, it's like there's always a big hype main event, but it's always good. I don't, but it had the same problem for me as the Moxley Tanahashi match where it was it was good, but it never really hit that next level to be a great sort of like how the the New Japan main events are always like hit that next level or are always like over the top amazing. But to me, like they're always good and solid, but something on the undercard or a couple of things on the undercard always like end up being the matches of the night. Like for me, like the Danielson Jericho match, the trios title match were kind of like the matches of the night, and they were earlier, you know, like I feel like the same thing with the Forbidden Door. Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay kind of stole the show, and the main event was good, but not great. Like it's not like a problem because like even some of those WCW shows back in the day, they had great undercards, and maybe the main event was good, maybe it wasn't, but like you still had good matches overall. It was fine. But yeah, it was like it was a good match.
Full Gear 2021. Did we prefer CM Punk and Eddie Kingston or Adam Page and Kenny Omega?
I didn't watch that show, so I couldn't tell you.
Jacob,
I would say Adam Page can make because of the story, especially because of the story as well. So yeah.
So there you go. In my opinion, Full Gear 2021.
Okay.
I mean, I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but I think maybe I preferred Lucha Bros and FTR on that match over.
Oh really? Well, then never mind.
I'd say for me personally, we'd have to go all the way back to Double or Nothing from 2020. The main event was the first Stadium Stampede, which I think is just a lot of fun. And I think
even the one pay-per-view that had the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks cage match, which was like a great like 5-star match, and then I don't even remember what the main event was. You know, it's kind of my point.
Christian and Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I mean, good match, but you know, had no chance of being better than that match. So it was like. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's still a good match. It's just, you know, even WWE has that thing where it's like, you know, we just watched Clash and Gunther and Sheamus and Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. I think we would all agree were better than the main event. You know, and it's like, yeah, it's good and solid, but you know, I feel like AEW should be doing better as far as their main events should be at least in the top 2 or 3 matches of the show. And I feel like
Full Gear 2020, Moxley Kingston, I Quit.
Pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, you also had Young Bucks at FCR, so that was probably pretty good.
Yeah. Again, that's what you see my point though. You see my point.
We're going, the fact that we're going all the way back to 2020.
Yeah, when you're having to stretch with that and try to look up articles to remember is like, it feels like your main event should be great. Like New Japan knows how to do like where the main event is great, like and a lot of times is the match of the show. And it's like AEW has not quite established that yet. You're always kind of looking at the card and going, that match will probably be good, but damn, that match on the undercard is probably going to steal the damn show and be great. You know, kind of like it was tonight. So, you know, a good match that, unfortunately, as we'll talk about here in a second, now that we've gone through the pay-per-view, is kind of rendered obsolete, like the Twilight Zone episode. Obsolete. So we'll talk about it. But yeah, it was a good match, good heat. You know, good crowd. I always appreciate a match with a lot of great crowd heat. But yeah, I felt like it would have been more memorable if Moxley beat Punk in Chicago. I just felt like it would have been, you know, it would have been more memorable to me than kind of the predictable thing. So,
yeah. And if Moxley defeated CM Punk, we would still have an AEW World Champion because, whatever happened after the show, like, that's just a mess. Like, apparently CM Punk and the Elite and Adam Page and whoever else, Brandon Cutler, I think, and Michael Nakazawa all suspended. Ace Steel. Adam Page not suspended, obviously, because he just had a match. But
I was just say, I don't think
Adam Page was involved.
He should have been. Punk was talking about him.
No, he might have been involved. Yeah, I think he was talked about, but I don't think he was involved in any of the skirmish.
That's it. Yeah, basically at the scrum, apropos of nothing, I think CM Punk was just in a bad mood for whatever. And then he wasn't even prompted. No one asked him a question about it. He just started going off about Colt Cabana. He called him his real name, Scott Colton, and then then just randomly he went off on that led into him going off on Adam Page for sort of going into for bringing it up on TV or something, and then leading it to the Young Bucks, him going off at the Young Bucks for he what he perceives as leaking it to dirt sheets. And then said that the EVPs couldn't manage a fucking target. And then for some reason I didn't realize they had heat even up on MJF.
As a manager of a Walmart before, like it's not that easy, Punk, you dick.
Yeah, and as he went up on MJF, he's like, man, you. And and then you just got Tony Khan looking like bewildered, like he's like, I honestly think like I don't know, I don't know what I would do in the situation, but maybe he should have cut Punk off.
There's been a lot of great like memes and video edits of this. We've seen the dark side of the ring. I've seen the crop footage of just the zoomed in Tony face as like Punk says what he says,
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the side by side of like Punk 1 year ago. I can't wait to fight all these youngsters. Punk 1 year later. Fucking work with children. Fucking pricks.
Yeah, but it's just like he goes to Tony. Oh, you keep making me work with pricks, and then he's like, then he was like, anyone who's got a problem with me, you can take it up with me in the locker room, and obviously
someone did.
And they fucking did. Good job.
Yeah, that's the point where Omega and the Bucks stood up and went, "Let's go find him."
So which led to
Target.
I could just hear it now. I don't know if the shows are out yet. I could just hear it now going of the Jim Cornette voice going, well, that's when you fucking book these goddamn California fucking idiots and you fucking let them run your goddamn show and let them, run around like fucking morons and start a bunch of shit, these mud show motherfuckers, and you don't control these guys and have professionals on your roster. This is the shit you get, I haven't listened to it yet, but I think he tapes it on Wednesday, so I'm sure it's out, but I just want to go and find it now because I'm sure he did. Because I know he's not a fan of Kenny Olivier and the Bucks, as he puts it. So I can't wait. But it's a weird situation where you mix these guys. So I guess just Punk thinks that the Bucks and Omega, just because they kind of half helped start the promotion, with Cody and all that, and are kind of in the position that they are because they kind of all work together in California, that he's just not part of that group. And it's like a thing where they just feel like Punk, I guess, on the other end, came in just because he is who he is, he hasn't worked in a long time, and, just came in to be, and now he's been handed all the main events and stuff and the titles. I don't know. It's oil and water, man. It's a bad mix. But if everybody can't be professional, then something needs to happen. I'm glad that they actually suspended everybody involved. Like there was actual consequences rather than just, we'll just have a talking to and just let it go. Like there needs to be consequences for shit like that. Like there needs to be. But I think Tony is trying to balance too much on his own. He's trying to he's trying to be the booker. He's trying to be the promoter. Because there's a difference. He's trying to be the booker. He's trying to be the promoter. He's trying to be the money guy. He's trying to be the friend, of the wrestlers. He's trying to be, buddy. And it's like, I think he needs a team of people to handle different things. He's got the money. He's got the power. He needs to delegate shit. He needs to. She's trying to be everybody.
Especially considering this is this is the word it's gotten, but it's not an isolated incident necessarily because you've had the issues with Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara. Eddie Kingston got suspended for a couple of weeks. You've had, you have supposedly Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa don't like each other backstage. There's been like a lot of, there's been kind of a lot of sort of backstage turmoil, and I just feel like maybe he needs. I don't know, someone else needs to come in and sort of mediate that kind of thing because clearly I don't know. Yeah, like I said, he's taking on too much, and he can't he can't rein everybody.
And Richie, I know you listen to Brian Alvarez a lot, like I do on Figure Four. I mean, he made a good point. He says Tony needs, and I like the way he put it, a bad cop. Because he's trying to play good cop, and you need that. Like it's kind of a necessary thing. You need that guy who the people are not necessarily afraid of, but you need that guy who can lay down the law in the back room and keep and supervise, and be that guy who keeps an eye on that shit while Tony's doing everything else. Like, you can't just be friends with everybody, because when shit happens, then you don't know what side to take. You don't know, like, you try to sort it out and you don't know how to. He needs that bad cop in law. He needs somebody like that. Say what you will about Vince McMahon, but he had people like that on the roster backstage who could keep control, because you don't hear a lot about fights in WWE in the back room a lot. It happens occasionally, but you don't really hear about a lot of that stuff. And he needs a team of people that can help control that, like the backstage stuff, and he doesn't have that right now, and that's something he's lacking.
Yeah. Well, you need someone
apparently
to be that community. Sorry, you go. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Richard. Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
No, you're good.
No, I think he just needs to be someone to be that sort of. He needs a middleman to be that communicator as well, because there's a lot of the criticism as well as like the communication with AEW is not there, Tony Khan doesn't communicate with the talent. Well, that's why the blow up between Tony Khan and Jonathan Gresham kind of spared as well, because he wasn't informed and stuff. So you need that sort of that kind of maybe that. You got Tony Khan, but then you got someone between Tony Khan. You
need that talent relations guy, like Jim Ross was in the WWE for a while, like a talent relations guy, a communication guy on the ground level. Tony stays on the above level, making decisions, but he also needs like a creative team to help him sort out some of these storylines and balance out, the placement of people, on the shows and things. Like he's got too many hands in the pot right now. Like as far as he's trying to do too much, like he's trying to do everything. He's like those people who start their own businesses, but they don't delegate anything. They feel like they have to supervise everything themselves, because like only they can do it properly. But like he's got the resources. He needs to bring some people in that can help him. It's just a matter of help. Just set up a system, set up a team that can help you delegate some of this shit and level things out.
I heard John Laurinaitis needs a job. I've heard.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And you mentioned Jim Cornette. The most recent episode of Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru on Spotify is nearly 5.5 hours long.
Holy shit. All right. I know what I'm listening to tomorrow.
Me too.
Because I'm sure there's all that news. There's got to be Clash talk. It's like us, all out talk, everything. So it's I'm sure everything's on there.
The description is: this week on the Drive-Thru, Jim talks about CM Punk's confrontation with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Plus, Jim reviews AEW All Out 2022, All Out Media Scrum, Clash at the Castle, and SmackDown.
Fuck yeah, I know what I'm watching. Or no, I'm listening to tomorrow. I was going to wait because, again, agree or disagree, he does make points, and he's made points like that before. Like, it does feel sometimes like it's a bunch of, like they're trying to be an indie show on a big level sometimes, and sometimes that can be a bad thing if you let everybody kind of, you don't have a structure to control everything, to keep things in check. There's too many egos, there's too many people with, all their own personal stakes and everything. So something needs to change. I hope this is a tipping point for Tony realizing that he can't do all this stuff by himself. He needs to start putting a team together. He could, and he's already got people at his disposal that can do that. Arn Anderson's one of those guys. Jim Ross is one of those guys. Dean Malenko, he's got guys like that could be those positions, who have the veteran experience, who are both either workers or like somebody with Jim Ross who's done stuff like that for WWE before. Take him out of the announcer role. Like, I don't need him at the announce table. Like, I love Jim Ross, but I don't need him at the announce table. Just be the backstage guy. And then get guys like Anderson or Dean Malenko or other guys that used to do that. He could bring in. Jerry Lynn, guys like that who have that experience, who could be those leaders in the locker room. Those guys who know what's going on, who know how to handle the egos, who know how to handle, the wrestlers and what they think through. So he needs that structure. I hope he takes this as an opportunity, to turn into something positive.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, CM Punk did get suspended. The Bucks and Omega got suspended. So yesterday on Dynamite, we did crown new trios champions. That they didn't waste any time on that. Death Triangle defeating Best Friends. I was pulling for the Best Friends again. I was like, finally their time. But no, they gave it to Death Triangle. Lucha Bros, Pac, who is now a double champion, in in AEW. Who would have thought Pac would be a double champion?
Is it that difficult to be a double champ in AEW when there's 500 belts?
I mean, apparently when you're Pac and you've been there for 4 years or however long they've been going, and these are your first titles.
You include all the Ring of Honor belts and everything else. Like, there's a lot of people with multiple belts right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have put it on the best friends just because I don't like with the especially with the All Atlantic belt like that also requires him like a lot of his defenses have been outside of America,
right?
So like it sort of requires to be outside. You sort of requires you to be outside America, but you also want to be in the States to defend your trios championship. So it's kind of like I don't know. I either see him losing the All Atlantic soon, or I don't know. But I don't know. That's we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I understand they need to do something really quick, but I would have put it on the best. I think the best friends and Orange Cassidy would have been all right. They're probably the go-to in my opinion.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
I would love to see. I cannot wait to see Orange Cassidy wearing a belt. He wouldn't even wear it. He'd probably just drag it.
Well, and then you could have. And then you could have had the best friends and maybe like Osprey and the Aussie Club start up a thing. You know what I mean? Like that'd be all right. And rekindle the Orange Cassidy Will Osprey thing, and like with the other group and have them start.
That was my original finale in my mind.
Yeah, no, that could be a fun group. They could have some really good matches. Build that up in the next pay-per-view. That would have been fun. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I know something Cassidy has done on the Indies too is he carries the title in a backpack.
Yeah, Tony, we know you listen to our show, so book it.
Yeah.
No, he just comes out. He comes out and then like has to go back. Oh shit! I forgot something. He just comes back and I forgot the.
that I feel like that would be in his character to like, Chuck Taylor and Trent come out with the belts and he like.
I forgot something. Shit.
Let's just keep going. But so that was the trios champion scene. So Death Triangle are your champions. We will crown a new AEW World Champion in a couple weeks at Grand Slam. We had our first tournament match yesterday. Bryan Danielson finally getting the victory over Hangman Adam Page. On Rampage, we will get Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin. The winner of that will take on Jon Moxley next week. And then next week we will also get the rematch of Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho. The winners of those matches will meet at Grand Slam, and we will crown a new world champion. So that's what's going on in the world title scene. Real quick predictions. Who do you think is going to be the new AEW world champion in 2 weeks? Richie, go to you first.
I'll go with who I want, and then who I think. Who I want will be Bryan Danielson. Who I think will be Moxley.
All right, awesome.
Exactly the same. I think Moxley will, but I would love to see Bryan Danielson become the champion. I think that'd be really cool.
Jordan.
Darby Allin.
I'm on the same boat as Richie and Austin. Only I think Bryan Danielson wins, but I would love to see Moxley continue. I think we do. I think that's the final, though. I think we get Moxley and Danielson. That rematch of Revolution, I believe, is the pay-per-view they met.
Wasn't it my idea that I said there should be a three-way thing with the Combat Club with Moxley and Bryan Danielson and Claudio that could have worked out really nicely and avoided all this shit? You could have had Jon Moxley win the title, Claudio win the chip, and Danielson beat Jericho and have a nice three-way at the next pay-per-view. The Combat Club collides. Boy, somebody had that idea, and they could have avoided all this nonsense.
But sometimes you just gotta go with the predictable booking and book CM Punk to win in Chicago. But now he is no longer the champion. He is no longer. Well, no, I can't say he's just suspended. But if he didn't come back, I don't think I'd be upset.
Don't be shocked if he doesn't come back. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know how he coexists with them at this point.
What? Yeah, no, I think that's where we'll call it. It's been a longer show than normal, but that's what happens when you have to review 2 pay-per-views with a total of 21 matches. 22 matches if you include the added kickoff match for Clash at the Castle. And then, yeah, who would have thought that all this backlash from All Out would have happened? So it was a big weekend of wrestling, and it's continuing into this week. So join us next week when we talk about whatever wrestling topics. I feel like we didn't even talk about Daniel Garcia winning the Pure title in his hometown, defeating Wheeler Yuta. So that happened. Congratulations, Daniel Garcia. He is becoming a star. And then, that even is weaving into Jericho and Danielson, because Jericho comes out while Danielson's congratulating them, raising his hand. So I'm looking forward to Dynamite next week. I'm looking forward to Rampage tomorrow, although we won't be watching live because we will be doing a Hollywood draft on this channel on a podcast about movies. Austin and I will be joined by Jordan and Jordan. Jordan, if you guys ever start a podcast, that's what this should be called. It should just be called Jordan and Jordan.
Sounds like a author.
The Adventures of Jordan and Jordan. It's not a ripoff of The Adventures of Pete and Pete at all. Anyway, Hollywood draft.
Did Jordan win both predictions?
We didn't even mention that. No, Jordan did not win both predictions. Jordan actually came in last for All Out.
Okay.
Austin was next at 10.
If you let Moxley win.
Richie and I both had 11. But if I had just gone with the sensible pick of Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, I would have won finally. The fact that I'm even tied for the lead is surprising, because I go 2 out of 6 for the Clash.
So how the hell do you sort this thing out as far as who won what?
I don't know. I think whoever went further in Jordan's Wrestling with Trivia tournament should be also that's me. I don't know. We can talk about it off air. We'll find out. But Jordan did win Clash, so maybe Richie and I can collaborate on the show.
I don't know. I was just gonna say all 3 of us, not collaborate, but like I get a pick, you get a pick, you get a pick. The end.
Over the next couple weeks, yeah.
We got enough shows.
Yeah, well, I could join y'all next week, but not the week after. I'll be out of town that 1 week. So.
Right.
All right. Well, we can talk in the chat. Let's find something next week. All 4 of us can do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but like I said, join us tomorrow, sometime after 10 Eastern. That's why it's important to hit the bell for the Hollywood draft. It'll be a little bit of a longer episode of a podcast about movies, because we are having 4 of us doing 50 picks each, but it's not like we have to explain our picks. You will know why we're picking who we pick. 33 actors, 12 directors, 5 composers, any era, any decade, any version of whoever you're drafting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jordan, plug your stuff real quick.
The Pierce Co. Trivia, countdowns, reviews, Pierce Wrestling, trivia, reviews. Wait, do I review shit on that? Not really. Interviews, and Real Pro Wrestling, High Impact Wrestling, OnlyFans. Thank you.
Richie, plug your stuff real quick.
Okay, Tournament Fights, Tier Rank. I'm on Pixel sometimes. I'm on just general trivia on the PSCO channel. I've started a Tubi podcast with a friend called Tell 'em They're Streaming, which is kind of a pun off the movie The Castle. We just did our first episode on a Bruce Lee film. Yeah, Bruce Lee. This is Bruce Lee. It's fucking terrible, but that's in the spirit of the show. It's very entertaining. I'd go and watch it. It's on Tubi. And I know you can find it here when we work out what we're going to talk about for next week. yeah, that should be fun.
Well, next week will be a good week to do just whatever random because it'll just be some regular shows going on, not really a lot of build up for another show, in between pay-per-views. So it might be a good week to do a some topic or a retro show or whatever the hell we decide to do, huh? So
and Austin, plug your stuff real quick.
Yeah, same thing. I'll be on the Hollywood Draft tomorrow night. Mega Movies with a Z. Michael Wolfman's show. We'll be doing a Jeepers Creepers 2 watch along next Monday night. So you can join us for that, kind of a live commentary thing. And then, I'm in a couple of trivia tournaments right now. Jordan Owens tournament, I'm in there on Pierceco. And then Henry Confidential's teams tournament. There will be trivia. I'm in there right now, too. So you can check all those out. And, anything else that pops up, I'll be taping a Battleground match next week that'll come out in about a month. So all kinds of stuff. I'm everywhere. I'm sure you're all sick of me by now. That's fine.
Yeah, and you can catch me here every Thursday, or Friday, depending on the week, depending on schedules.
Definitely going to be Thursday next week because I definitely can't do Friday next week. I got to work and then go pick up Jordan at the airport because he's flying in. So yeah, definitely probably Thursday, but I would do that.
Yeah, so next Thursday, and then tomorrow the Hollywood Draft podcast about movies. Saturday, check out Rankum. We will be doing the top 12 live action Disney remakes.
Oh yeah, I'm on that too.
Pinocchio.
I'm on that too.
Richie, Richie's on that too. So
goddamn, look at all this Hollywood draft shit. It's like I scroll and scroll and scroll for all the potential Hollywood draft stuff. You know what I mean? All my potential nominations. Oh, a whole note app full of stuff. Yeah.
I wrote some down.
Yeah, right.
This is just a page full of actors.
Right.
That'll be tomorrow. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So tune in. Hit the bell so you know when we go live. Tier ranker, tournament fights. The Patreon, join it if you want, or not. I mean, money's nice. Whatever you want. We do Patreon exclusive episodes over there. So if you want to know what Austin and mine and Jordan Anderson's favorite movies from our childhood are, go join the Patreon and find out.
Our next Patreon episode, we have an idea, might be me and Jacob and Jordan talking about our favorite movie trailers of all time because we can play them on the Patreon episode, and watch along.
Right.
So we might do that as a fun topic stuff because on there we can play along with stuff. So play sound clips, we can play movie clips. So we might do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
we'll make our list.
So hit the bell, join the Patreon, watch Richie and Jordan's channels. They put out some good stuff. I'm assuming I haven't watched Richie's yet, but I'm assuming it'll be entertaining and fun. And remember, we may not be a doctor, but I don't think the oxygen goes over the eyes.
You can't breathe.